It is 6:01. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Tennessee Titans got it done again. They defeated the Indianapolis Colts 19-10 Sunday at Nissan Stadium to earn their fifth straight win over Indy. It also allowed them to sweep the season series.
Well, I would say that, Adams, Andrews' interception, the defensive players, made a check and they all executed it. Obviously, Bud was able to match the quarterback's hand.
That was Mike Vrabel talking about the INT that Andrew Adams returned for a pick six. Randy Bullock tacked on 4 field goals to help the Titans to their 4th straight victory and sole possession of first place in the AFC South. The Titans played Houston next Sunday. Kickoff for that set for 3:05. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins defeated the Steelers 16-10. Monday Night Football, Bears at Patriots. You can hear the game on The Zone. Major League Baseball, we have our 2 teams for the World Series. The Phillies defeated the Padres 4-3 to win that series in 5. Astros swept the Yankees 6-5. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on over the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A lot of work to be done for the Tennessee Titans. We're just through 6 games, but this is a big win. Final score at Nissan Stadium. Tennessee 19, Indianapolis 10, as the Titans take on the Colts and get it done again.
Good morning and happy Victory Monday on 104.5 The Zone. The Tennessee Titans extend their ownership over the Indianapolis Colts, and they didn't even need an offensive touchdown to do it. Alongside 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Jonathan Schaefer, the best producer in the world, makes the show happen. My name is Will Bowling. 615-737-1045 is the phone number. We are Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville, where Jim Irsay now shares the ownership of the Indianapolis Colts with Ryan Tannehill.
Hey.
Good morning.
Whoa now. Straight up. Hey, what a time to be alive to sweep your number one opponent 2-0.
Yeah.
Before the halftime of the season, too.
It's not even the end of October.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. You know what you say to the Titans fans? What a time to be alive, baby. If for anything, this is a better chance to punch your ticket to the postseason.
Exactly.
Just get hot.
And that's what, you're starting to learn when you're a young player on this team, is that these teams against your division rivals, especially a team like the Colts, it's a good time to get that early.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good things to hit on, too, man. I'll say this. Watching that game, these 2 teams do not like each other.
No, they don't.
No.
Like the amount of just back and forth, the amount of extra pushing, the amount of chippiness. I'm like, what is this, a high school rivalry? Because they push and fight like they're friggin' teenagers out there, and I love it.
And I know that Quentin Nelson was on Bussin' with the Boys in the past and has been on Taylor Lewan's podcast and done all these things. Those guys know each other well. I don't think him and those Titans defensive linemen like each other, that's for sure. Tadeko Autry continues to play with a chip on his shoulder against Indianapolis. And Jeffrey Simmons is a bad man. And I say that in the best way possible.
Man. And you knew, though, when I showed you the video of Jeff Simmons this week and Bud Dupree doing his tornado drill, you knew they were going to come with some extra juice. They always bring the juice. Yeah. But did you see Bud after that sack?
Yep.
He almost did like a leg kick.
A donkey kick.
What was that?
I don't know.
It was incredible.
I meant to text him just to say, hey, man, good game and welcome back. Just one of them, because health is one of those things in sports where it's like, man, just stay healthy. And he had a good game yesterday. But as you said, the celebration. Who was he doing? Knocking on somebody's door and kicking it in backwards?
He was just as animated in the locker room.
Was
Him and
he
Jeff
really?
were going back and forth about the Wildcats and the Bulldogs. It was hilarious.
Really?
Well, and it is Kentucky week in Knoxville.
It is.
Kentucky hate week is real,
Ramon
baby.
Foster might need to go back and forth with Bud Dupree about the Kentucky Wildcats and the Vols on
I
this
think
show.
so.
maybe
He
at
still
some
owe
point
me a
this week.
dinner, too.
A lot of people owe you dinners,
It's the-
Rashad Weaver.
I'm really
to
glad to
talk
not be
about
on
it.
that list.
Yeah, but this is
I'm glad. Ramon Foster owes us a dinner
Yes,
for all
he
these
does.
cookouts he keeps talking
I
about he's
do.
going to have.
Yes. he
Maybe
does.
this weekend if everybody's
Pot, meat,
schedule
kettle.
lines up. Yeah, I know. I owe y'all, okay? I owe y'all. So, but besides that, okay, I just like knowing they owe me more than anything. You know, I just
Right.
want to, hey, man, I'll pay you back. No, it's all good. It's all like with Bud, though, I'm going to collect this one. With Rashad, I'm going to collect this one because he was supposed to pin the show name to our to his profile.
That's right.
Not anymore. We got him. I promise you we got him.
Oh, I remind him every day
You
after
He gonna-
practice and wins.
Fighting the good fight.
And he had those Cartier glasses on yesterday, too.
You didn't see the whole
Styling.
terry cloth suit.
Oh, yeah?
He had the terry cloth shorts and shirt. I said, "What are you going to Florida after this?"
Like a true.
He said, "I got to use this up while I can because it's going to get cold here soon." I said, "That's right."
He's a Pittsburgh guy. He
He
gets
is.
it.
Yeah, he gets it. He gets it.
But there is lots to break down from a big win yesterday, 19-10 over the Indianapolis Colts. Or you could join us at 615-737-1045. If you're a Titans fan and you want to take your victory lap over Jim Irsay's Indianapolis Colts, you are welcome to do so. Today at 615-737-1045. You got the Titans dominating the line of scrimmage once again with a healthy defensive front led by Bud Dupree, Rashad Weaver, Jeffrey Simmons, and Danico Autry. Another good day for them. You slow down Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. Taylor's, for some reason, only has 5 carries for 18 yards in the second half after averaging 8 yards per carry in the first half. So we'll get to that today. Derrick Henry, another big day for him. Mike Vrabel teams continue to dominate with 9 or more days of rest. And the stat that we gave last week continues to get that much more impressive. This was the Austin Hooper and Andrew Adams game, though.
Yeah.
And Titan safety Andrew Adams, after his pick 6 yesterday, will join us this morning at 9 a.m. Looking forward to talking with him. Teresa Walker of the Associated Press at 9:20 to recap this one. But, guys, Andrew Adams supplied the only touchdown the Titans needed to beat the Indianapolis Colts. And as soon as he brought back that pick 6, my first thought was 10 points might be enough to win this game.
You thought that?
Yeah.
And it ended up pretty much being enough to win the game.
I think you got that was going to be the tone of the game
Wow. Like,
really early on.
for real.
Like it wasn't going to be a high scoring game. You're going to have to get turnovers to win this one. That was the feeling I had. And when that happened,
Yeah.
it just reassured it.
Well, all I know is I ended up watching the game back on replay yesterday evening. But as I'm watching my kid play baseball, all I see from our show account coming in is Todd Downing. I was like, what is going on? 10 points is what you're saying was going on then, huh?
Well, he had a couple bad calls, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah,
Titans offense was
Including
responsible
putting
for
in a
12
rookie.
points.
To do something.
Again, I want to shoot all of the trick plays to Titans rookies in the fourth quarter into the sun. Just shoot them into the sun. Also, you can also have a trick play without having to hand it off on a sweep. Like there are other ways. You can pitch it. You can throw it.
That was
Like
business decision
bop
made
it.
on that play too. Did y'all like he saw who was at Yannick on the edge right there. His hands opened up really fast and closed really fast too.
I mean, I don't know why you would expect a rookie quarterback to know how to
what
correctly
position he
take a
play
handle.
again?
Plays quarterback.
What year is he in the
He's a
league?
rookie.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie,
He's a rookie
quarterback. When you got
Who's
other,
never played receiver in college. This is not like a guy that's like done a little bit of both. Run some trick. I mean, he's a quarterback.
I got a problem with that. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
too, right?
That's
Yeah,
not
we'll
good.
get
Yeah.
to that too. Goodness, man. I was just like, come on. But this, as you said, Kayla, if the vibes in the stadium was this is going to be a dog fight, a rock fight,
Yeah.
then it was exactly that.
And you guys saw the available wide receivers coming into this game.
Mason Kinsey.
I mean,
Mason Kinsey
by the way,
Bankhead.
did you see his pregame fit?
No, I missed it.
Cut off flannel. Just you gotta go
Just,
Simple.
It's hilarious.
act like
Shout
you've
out,
been there.
Kinsey.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out.
know.
But yeah, it had to be. If anything was going to happen, you had to have a couple guys step up, even if it weren't going to be getting into the end zone. And that's why Austin Hooper coming up at a time like that.
Also, while
huge.
we're bullets and pointing stuff, let me breathe, y'all.
Oh,
Dennis Daly. We got to figure something out, y'all.
It's still not good. Left tackle is a problem. Right guard without Nate Davis is an equally big problem for this team, specifically in pass protection. You at least had more help on the right side for your second-year right guard, and Dylan Radins, who Kevin Dyson brought this up yesterday on Titans Talkback. When he's come in for a spot start, you haven't noticed him as much as you did yesterday.
Right.
In pass blocking specifically, you noticed Dylan Radins in a very bad way.
Yep.
And yes, Derrick Henry had 128 yards, and you did enough to block for him in the run game, and that's good. And Derrick Henry looked like peak Derrick Henry in that game yesterday, breaking some tough runs.
Yeah.
I think this is one of Derrick Henry's more underrated performances that is not going to get talked about because he didn't have a touchdown. And he didn't have that big 50-yard gain, and he was close twice. Again,
he was.
He's close. I genuinely think when he breaks one of those, we're talking about a 200-yard game.
And it's going to be, he's going to celebrate for like 5 minutes.
Yes, he is.
Because, first of all, he is sick of the media asking him, so when do you feel like you're going to break through?
I think he's just sick of the media in general.
He's sick of the media. He certainly is. But
he's
I think that
business
question
is
irking him because he knows it's there. But I think you're right, Will. The way he was running yesterday, he just pushing through. I mean, he did a little turn move one time to gain a couple extra yards. I mean, he's just really doing everything he can, and had to at that time because Ryan Tannehill, was on a bum ankle.
Yeah.
So also when center Ben Jones went down, I took a deep breath.
Did you?
And I was like, oh, shoot. Because he was down for a minute. And usually Ben, he's down for a quick second, pops right up.
Work his way back up.
But he came off, went to the sideline, went in the tent, and Ben came back. And I never thought he wouldn't come back because it's Ben Jones.
That's cold-blooded.
And sure enough, we talked to him after the game. He pretty much said, yep, I was hurting.
I was iffy.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll get right this week and get back to work. I mean, talk about a freaking warrior, man.
The one run when Derrick basically was getting separation and dude grabbed his hand. I was like, by any means necessary, bring Derrick Henry down, huh? I was like, you grabbed that man's fist. That's not your dad. Well, yesterday he was.
I was going to say he's beaten him 5 straight times. So,
well, in the 1930s, maybe when you beating him like that.
Unlike the running back for Indianapolis, he has 100-yard games in this rivalry. So he does kind of own them a little bit. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in this morning. Andrew Adams, Titan safety at 9 a.m. this morning. Teresa Walker of the Associated Press at 9:20, and your phone calls at 615-737-1045 as the Titans get it done against the Colts. We look at how they dominated the line of scrimmage up front with a healthy defensive line when we come back. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, the Monday edition, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville, and it's 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster for Window Nation. If you didn't know, forecasters are predicting a colder and snowy winter. And guess what? Winter is coming up quick. You live right here in this Tennessee area. It seems like we got fake winter, fake fall, fake summer. All of them were the same this year in particular, man. This week, we're going to have some 70s, and you may have to turn your AC off. And guess what? If you got Window Nation's windows, you can keep all that good air inside and not have to worry about so much energy leaving or your electric bill being so high because you got to pay for so much stuff, so much energy. Right now, you can get 2 windows free for every 2 you buy and pay nothing until 2025 with 0% financing. Listen, there's no payments until 2025. Plus, you save thousands more energy over the years that you have Window Nation's window. If you want to get Window Nation's window, the number is 866-90Nation, or you can visit windownation.com, where you can join over 150,000 smart homeowners who have Window Nation windows. Again, get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy. That's buy 2, get 2 free with no limit. Plus, pay nothing until 2025. Again, the number is 866-90Nation, or visit windownation.com and tell them Ramon sent you.
On 3rd down and 5, it gets loud. Titans rush 4. Ryan in trouble, being chased, stepping up, penalty marker down. He's sacked! Bud Dupree!
Donkey kick.
You had a lot of that
Donkey kid.
yesterday in Nissan Stadium. The Titans sack Nathaniel Ryan 3 times.
Oh, baby.
And they get win number 2 over those Indianapolis Colts this season. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all 4 Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Kayla Anderson, Ramon Foster, Will Bowling with you. On the phone lines at 615-737-1045, where Eric in Nashville leads us off this morning. What's going on, Eric?
What's up, Eric?
I tell you what, I think when you said it yesterday, Will, it was trending on Twitter, fire Frank Reich. And I tell you what, it seems like everything is just piling on for the Colts, because it seems like also they could be searching the waiver wire for a new punter this morning. Oh, man. I tell you what, other than the one punt, it's just hit about 3 or 4 other punts that were just horrible. And I tell you, your day is just going fantastic when, of course, the coach for the Colts, when Reich, he loses his challenge, and Mike Vrabel wins it.
It's just
that
bad.
catch by Hooper yesterday was just fantastic. I mean, and of course, and Vrabel was right to challenge, because it clearly was a fumble, guys. I was at the game yesterday also, but not only were you talking about, I was holding my breath for Tannehill and also for Ben Jones, but it also was for Jeffrey Simmons, too.
Yeah.
So it seems like players were going down kind of left and right. One thing that kind of made me mad, I had to hold my tongue. There was a couple of Colts fans stood a few rows behind me, and they were kind of laughing and joking while Tannehill was down. And I had to hold my tongue because I was going to say something. I didn't want to start anything, so I just kind of was holding my breath. I had a kind of a stern look on my face. But anyway, guys, but what about Andrew Adams, guys? And I cannot believe this guy was with the Steelers. They dropped him from the practice squad. 10 tackles and that pick 6 yesterday. The Steelers are not known for letting a guy like that get away. How he was able to get it in the lineup so quickly. And, of course, Coach Mack said, because he's smart. And even Mike Keith was a little bit nervous yesterday. I know he didn't mean to do it, but near the end of the game, he said, Eddie George, 30 carries, 128 yards, and of course, Coach Mack had to correct it. Yeah, I meant Derrick Henry. Yeah, but it was like an Eddie George performance.
That's great.
Yes, it
I heard on the
was.
radio yesterday, guys. But all in all, fantastic game. The crowd was just electric and fantastic yesterday. Just thoroughly enjoyed it, and just hopefully they can keep it up. Still a little bit worried about the offense and getting it together and their scoring, but hey, a win is a win, and you'll take it as you can get it, guys. Guys, y'all take care and have a fantastic day.
Thank you,
too,
Eric. Appreciate the call.
I'm glad Eric didn't act out of character yesterday. You imagine Eric?
Yeah, he's like, okay, Colts fans,
Yeah.
zip it.
Like,
right.
You hear Eric, and it sounds like he just enjoys a good time. And
But
it's
if
like
you make Eric mad,
Yeah.
I feel like Eric has a
Yeah, we'll
side.
see
He
ya.
could be like,
the darkness.
Andrew Adams, that's right. Not the typical guy Pittsburgh releases. That's the kind of guy Pittsburgh usually signs and
Yeah.
gives, I don't know, an 11-year NFL career to undrafted guys?
I mean,
I'm
hey.
sitting next to one of them.
He was also on the Giants practice
It
squad
was
this
he.
year.
He was, and played some time in Tampa Bay. Started for the Giants really at the beginning of his career in his rookie season, and again played a lot of snaps for Tampa Bay in 2019. He picks up the 8th interception of his career, and he takes it to the house for the Titans on that play at Matt Ryan. It was the most accurate pass he threw the entire game. It was just to the wrong team. With Andrew Adams right there in the right spot. I liked, though, what the Titans were able to do. We asked the question to Jim Wyatt on Friday and said, is Ugo Amandi's return enough to give the Titans a new player at nickel and allow Roger McCreary to play on the outside? Because Amani Hooker's return, we knew, was going to help minimize the explosive plays on defense. They were more creative than we gave them credit for.
Yeah.
And they put Amani Hooker in the slot, a position he played for his first 3 years in this league. Specifically, his rookie season, he was the third down, big nickel, third safety on the field to cover a tight end or to just cover anyone in the nickel. And he gets 10 tackles. Andrew Adams plays the safety position and adds 10 tackles. And we've been waiting for somebody to step up on that defense and take ownership of one of these open positions that have been made available by injuries and by Caleb Farley not taking that next step so far this season. And come on down, Andrew Adams, because you are the guy to step up and be that fill-in the Titans have been waiting for on defense.
No doubt about it. And this isn't a guy that's a rookie. Like, he's a 7-year guy, man. It's been bounced around, as you guys said a second ago, finally taking advantage of opportunities. I will say this, man. I know everybody's saying it's not a guy like the Steelers let go of. Well, this is the type of guy the Titans go get. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A guy that, is looking for a home, trying to find it, and he makes a big play here. You know what this does for him? This puts a lot of stock into Coach Vrabel's emotional data bank, as coaches like to say.
Right.
Like, you show up, do a job, and not just that, Will, to your point, as far as, look, there's some neglect in that secondary as far as Caleb goes, as far as injuries goes, as far as trying to make plays and honestly be a spark for this entire team, not just the defense, but that touchdown, Kayla, was what really sealed the deal as far as like a win for this team. Yeah, you could have won, 10-9, but that's not the case. This dude gets a pick six and just embraces the entire moment on the defense. And I got to give it to him. Watching this defense has been fun.
Really
they
fun.
Play bully ball. And you got a guy like him that capitalizes on a bad throw and goes yard on it. Mm-hmm. Good for him, man. That's why we love this sport.
Yeah, I felt it was crazy when we were talking to Vrabel after the game. He said that not only did Andrew Adams sign the same day as Terrence Mitchell, another add to this team, who has, played a little bit more recently. And talking to Vrabel afterwards, he also said a lot of this has to do with when these guys come in. Obviously, they go out and find these guys they feel like are going to be a good fit, but they spend a lot of extra time with their coaches, their position coaches, getting on the same page because they're coming into a brand new defense, a brand new team and having to learn everything. And so, these guys are spending even more time with their coaches. And that's exactly what Andrew told me. He said, I give a lot of credit to my position coach too, for just kind of going through everything with me step by step.
Yeah.
And clearly it showed.
Yeah. And I didn't want to, I was just saying, I wanted to make this point is this knocks Caleb so much more though. And I hate it for him because you have a guy, even though he's got the experience, come in on just midway through the season, spends time with his coaches, and it's all documented. He's saying this stuff, and he's making plays. But of course, Andrew has a bunch of reps in this league.
Wasn't out there 7 years. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, this is different, but it doesn't help Caleb's cause when it comes down to, look, we just want a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? And that was the opportunity that was taken advantage of by Andrew. So I'm all for that. And also the addition of Amani back too does help a whole lot of stuff.
Huge.
Yeah.
And David Long Jr. is just a joy to watch. Can we just add that into it? He was saying after the game, you guys, he was talking about the interception, and he kind of joked. And he said, "But I wanted to run it back for a touchdown." I look at him, I go, "Don't get greedy, David." He goes, "I know," and he started laughing. But that's their mindset.
Yeah.
That's what they expect to do.
It is.
I don't want the interception. I want to pick six.
And you know what's cold about that too, Kayla, with him saying that? I've been on teams where I knew our offense was below the line. I knew we were lightly trash. Okay, we were probably just a new trash bag, but we were trash at times, stagnant.
Fresh scented trash
Yeah,
bag.
I like the scented ones.
Those
are
with
nice.
Febreze in them.
Yeah.
Man, we had some in the house, and I was putting the trash back. I'm getting off topic here, all right? Yes.
That's what I have in my household.
I'm
We're
domesticated
talking about the
around
Colts.
here.
We can talk about trash bags.
But I'm putting the trash.
6:31 a.m. and the Colts have been kneecapped
You
by
gotta
one
save
Kayla
that one, Shave. That was good.
F. Anderson.
Save it for next year if they try to make the playoffs. Either way, I'm putting the trash back. I'm putting the Colt into the trash can, okay? And next thing you know, I'm like, what is that smell? She's like, well, they got scented trash bags.
Right.
I'm like, what? But with that being said, though, like, our defense, I knew, understood that they had to go take the ball away to either give us the short field or go score for us. And hearing David Long Jr. say that to you, or watching Andrew Adams get that pick six yesterday, like, it's not a knock because it's a team sport, right? We're going to talk about it because the offense is lacking, right? But defenses understand. We got to go way harder on this side of the ball because we know they're lacking over there. And that's what happened yesterday.
And they're never going to call the offense out, ever. But they're going to go above and beyond to get the job done. And you have to feel good about that. And that's why I think Titans fans are happy today, even though the offensive production wasn't there. They just saw how great this defense is in terms of when it needs to step up. I think fans will really appreciate that.
Yeah. And you got to. If you're a sports fan, like I know it can be, I want high-scoring points. But when you see the way they play, Kayla, with the violence, like that takes you to a different place right there. It got violent.
Yeah, it did.
The Titans forced Indianapolis to get away from its identity when it's at its best as well and throw the football 44 times compared to 17 runs. Listening to a Titans locker room report on Titans radio, Mike Keith brought that up in his final thoughts with Coach Mack and Rhett Bryan yesterday and said, we talked at halftime and said they're going to run the ball more in the second half.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor in the first half had 5 carries for 40 yards. In the second half, he had 5 carries for 18 yards. Forcing the Indianapolis Colts to throw the football 44 times and run it 17 is the formula to beat the Indianapolis Colts, because then you're, putting the football in the hands of one Matt Nathaniel Ryan, who is not what he used to be post 28-3.
Can we get that trending all over the world?
Please do.
Matt Nathaniel.
Please do. But you are also forcing the highest paid offensive line in the NFL to continue to be as fraudulent as they have been over the course of this season.
Right.
And make Indianapolis have to go no huddle and have to get the football out of their hands so quickly. That's not the best of the Indianapolis Colts. Right. And Andrew Adams' pick 6 early in this game forced Indianapolis to go away from its identity. Frank Reich got way too impatient with what he wanted to do on offense, because there were holes there in the running game for Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor was running a whole lot better in this game than he was a couple of weeks ago in Indianapolis. This game is squarely on Frank Reich, and the Titans deserve credit for forcing them out of their identity, and that front seven deserves credit for being as salty and as aggressive as they were, because you're right, Ramon. They recognized the opportunity here and said, the 4 active wide receivers we've got up on the other side, respectfully, were Hollister, Kinsey, Westbrook, Akine, and Woods.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, but anybody's going to say the same thing we are saying. And those guys are all hard workers. They're all great dudes. And they can't make plays.
Yeah.
But this is the NFL, and we're talking about, who is wide receiver number 1? Well, it's Robert Woods. But other than that, it's just a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And Austin Hooper.
And Austin, who had a day finally.
Who came up big. That's why I was saying it was so important at that point to come up big. Can I go back to really quick Jonathan Taylor, though?
Please do.
Because you're right. There was a point in the game early on in the first half where I turned to Corey Curtis and I said, he's going to run for over 100 yards for the first time against the Titans today. I feel like this could be the case. And then it completely just stopped. And for the not how many times have they faced him since Jonathan has played? He still has not gone for 100 yards against the Titans.
Golly.
It's incredible to think about.
Jonathan Taylor against the Titans in his career, 7 attempts, 12 yards, 10 attempts, 64 yards, 16 attempts, 70 yards, 20 for 42 a couple of weeks ago, and 10 for 58 yesterday.
Other than that,
Not
what
great
was
bump.
that? What was that? Something 16 for 42. What was that last time?
16 for 70 last year in the second matchup on Halloween.
And
20 for 42 a couple weeks ago.
Okay, 20 for 42. Other than that game, his average has been high. You look at yesterday, he's 5.8 yards a carry. As far as like his efficiency in the game.
Yeah.
I think to y'all point,
Against the
like,
Titans?
isn't that what you just said?
Well, but all those together, he's got 63 carries for 246. So his average came up yesterday.
Okay. Well,
against the
what
Titans.
I'm saying is their coach is getting very impatient and trying to beat the Titans by going away from him.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point to be made. Like, coaches are paid to do a lot of stuff. And in that situation yesterday, or just in general for the coach, like understanding, all right, if we just stay the course right here, it'll eventually crack. They couldn't do it because, like you said, like Nathaniel yesterday, they thought they could win it with him. Again, Ron, when you're right, you're right.
Ron Slay is always on the right side of history, but especially in this circumstance.
I'd be careful with always, but mostly.
Yeah.
No, Schaefer, it's Kentucky week. It's Kentucky week.
Oh, here
So
we go.
if you think Ron Slay,
Bye.
if you think Ron Slay for Nathaniel week for Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts
come
coming
on,
to town
Will.
is high energy, You have not seen it. That was the opening act.
The best line in radio history was during Titans Talkback last night when Ron Slay came in studio and went, I'm fried, and I ain't going to make any sense.
And I said, if you're our bosses listening right now, no, you're not. He said, no, Allison, how are you? How we doing? How are you?
He doubled down.
Oh, he tripled down.
Strutting.
Is he on the chat this morning
Oh,
yet?
he is.
Of course he
Okay, because I'm like, that man does
He'll
not
call in
sleep.
soon. He told us
doesn't
yesterday
sleep.
on Titans Talkback. He'll call in today.
I'm like, I thought I was energetic. Nothing.
He said
Nothing
he's going to
compared to
call
that
into
man.
every show today.
Get you a dose of it, KK. Like, that's it.
Let's go to Lee on the phone lines before we go to break. 615-737-1045. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning. How are y'all?
We're good.
Good, Lee.
Good morning.
Well, I want to mention a name that Ramon mentioned before the last break. Dennis Daly.
That's right.
Come on with it.
Double D.
I'm going to say this loud enough for Mike Vrabel to hear.
Oh.
Dennis Daly is not the answer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're risking one of two things. You're risking for your quarterback to be severely injured or even killed with Dennis Daly as your left tackle.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate the call.
Felt like Lee had so much more.
Well, he dropped off himself.
Oh,
He dropped the mic and
He
dropped
was
the phone
making
line.
a statement right there. Lee, I see ya.
he slow walked us.
I know,
into
Lee.
that.
Let's react to that when
Big
we come
Titans fan.
back. It's 615-737-1045. We'll get to Ethan. We'll get to Cuzzo Mike, who is already with us on the phone lines as well after the break. But Titans have an issue at left tackle. An issue. We knew they did, and after the bye week, still, it is the problem for this team. 615-737-1045 on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We continue to react to the Titans putting away the Indianapolis Colts. And we'll talk some Titans offensive line. Coming up after this, right here on 104.5 The Zone.
Summer's over, but that joint pain is still there, and it's time to do something about it. Hey, it's Ramon Foster, and I want you to call QC Kinetics now because you've put it off long enough, and it's time to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees and back and shoulders and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments. Listen, there's no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. Lots of people here have already done this, and they're living life to the fullest, pain-free. So don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics today. Stop putting it off. Call now for a free consultation. It's 615-249-4024. The number again, 615-249-4024.
And I know that it's professional football and there's a lot of tough guys. I understand that. But, top to bottom, I think it becomes somewhat infectious, when guys are peeling themselves off the turf, getting checked out, getting taped up, doing whatever they have to do to be out there.
Mike Vrabel talking to the media yesterday after another gritty win in the AFC South over the Indianapolis Colts. That audio courtesy of the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer.
Of the world, Craig.
The world.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors and that producer on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you on the phone lines at 615-737-1045, where Ethan in Murfreesboro gets the next word. Good morning, Ethan.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're great.
Morning.
I was just calling to talk about how the Titans don't fit the NFL narrative, especially not this year. This is a team, you watch this offense, and, I'm bored out of my mind. I'm at the game, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, can we move the ball? Like, what's going on? Run, pass, run, pass. But I think that just goes to show, the Titans are one of the most resilient teams in the NFL, and that not a single one of these players listen to these NFL analysts that were counting them out week after week saying the Titans offense can't sustain this kind of win. You can't win like this. But if you look at it, we're a field goal away from being 5-1 right now and being tied in first in the AFC.
Truth.
So I just think that goes to show the Titans don't fit the NFL narrative, and they still have a chance to lock up that 1 seed this year.
Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I said this on Titans Talk Back yesterday. As far as wins go, this was your biggest blowout win of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
People who asked us, can the Titans sustain this? But they won by 9. Yeah, you didn't score on offense, but that's the crazy thing is that this wasn't even this wasn't as close as the Commanders game.
Right.
Wasn't as close as the first Colts game.
Yeah.
Wasn't as close as the Raiders game when they're a 2-point conversion away. By your standards, you blew them out yesterday.
Yeah. And he's right. Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah.
But if Randy Bullock, who has been really good this year.
Really good.
Respect on it,
credit
right?
to Randy for putting points up on the board yesterday. But if he would have made that field goal, they would have been 5-1. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
When there's a lot of teams right now that aren't doing great, aren't playing great football.
It's a portion of the NFL. It's like a melting pot of what's what, you know, and just truthfully here, I got on the call a second ago. How long does it last though, too?
Yeah.
That's the other side of it is when do those high-powered offenses of Buffalo, of Kansas City, we look at Philly right now, too. Is that better than what the Titans are putting out as a team? Or if they see each other, and they got to see Philly.
Yeah.
And
they're
Kansas
seeing Kansas City, not this week, but next week on the road.
What is it going to look like? I guess if they play a different brand of ball, the question is how long does that brand last?
But it doesn't matter to these players because they're so engulfed in this culture of this. This is not, I am not just blowing smoke.
No,
here.
I'm with you.
I've been here through Vrabel's whole tenure, and that is a different type of culture team. Like that, if you do not believe in the culture, you are out. You are not fitting in. That is not happening. They don't care, like he said about the national media. They do not care. That's truth right there.
Yeah.
When you talk to these guys, you can tell they don't listen to that narrative. So for them, it's just what can we do in this game? Whether it be Kansas City, New York Giants, that they're not going to think ahead of time and say, well, we got it. How's our offense going to look here? That's not how this team works.
That's real.
615-737-1045. One of our favorites, Cuzzo Mike in Cleveland, checks in with us this morning. Hello, Mike. How are we?
What up, though? What up? I'm a favorite.
Of
now?
course you are. Even though you wanted my job, but it's fine. We let you stay around.
You did try to get Will fired out here now.
What?
He wanted Will's job.
Okay.
No, I didn't. I wanted Will's job. But the people just needed to know what they could have had, so now they can appreciate Will.
I get it.
That's all that is.
Okay.
K Savage, I saw you in your pantsuit. I seen it.
Thank
looking real good.
Thank you.
Yes. You was real nice to fly on the sideline. I was looking like a 70s pimp. You was on K Savage.
It's game day, baby. You bring the style.
I see you, baby, but okay. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. It's actually goes in good with what Ethan just said. Yo, somewhere it's really fitting that yesterday was the Titans' homecoming, day. Because somewhere Jeff Fisher, his spirit, the ghost of Jeff Fisher was all around that.
Jeff Fisher is very much alive. Let's not get that twisted. Alive and with us. He's doing great.
His philosophy should have been dead a long time ago. Okay, where we gonna play great defense, we gonna win the time of possession, and we gonna win by field goals. That philosophy should have been dead a long time ago, but it's still living, obviously, and we still winning that way. And like y'all just said, man, y'all took the juice from me, because I don't know how we are still winning this way. I don't know how we can change the name of the coach, change the uniforms, change the players, and still win with defense. No certified number one wide receiver, a running game that sucks everybody up to where Cody Hollister can look like, I don't know, Drew from back in the day.
Drew Bennett?
Yep, Drew Bennett. You know what I'm talking about, William. Yes, sir. Dog, this is remarkable to the point to where the Giants took our philosophy and they winning with it.
Yeah.
They running the ball, and they playing good defense. And what are they? They 6-0. They are the 2019 Titans right now. And that's us. That's what we do. So shouts out to the homecoming. And shouts out to Jeff Fisher's philosophy. It lives on. And for Zach out there, 5's up, baby. We 5 up out here. So I'm glad you can go sit down. And that's really all I got, man. We gotta stay out there. Oh, one last thing. Shouts out to Ben Jones, toughest man in the NFL. Real talk.
Yep.
Shouts out to Ben Jones. Shouts out to Tannehill. He saw the ankle roll and he said, "Nope, I seen this story right here. It ain't gonna be me." And so that's what's up. And that's all I got, man. Shouts out to Jeff Fisher and his philosophy. He's still winning.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the call. There are not a lot of dynamic duos of running backs and punters in the NFL. Eddie George and Craig Hendrick were a dynamic duo. Derrick Henry and Ryan Stonehouse. I don't know if those two gentlemen have a lot in common, but they
work hard.
Both play really well. And Ryan Stonehouse outperformed Matt Hawk, that's for sure, yesterday. And Derrick Henry outperformed Jonathan Taylor again. 615-737-1045. Scott and Caples will get to you guys after the break on the phone lines, or you can join us. And when we come back, my key to the game on Friday, guys, going into the weekend was stopping two players that you stopped the last time you play Indy. Mm-hmm. And we said, if you stop the two superstars on offense, you're going to win this game again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor's performance together against the Titans in 2 games combined looks like the stat sheet of a lot of single game performances they've had this season. We'll take a look at that when we come back. 615-737-1045. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will on a Victory Monday, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Change is coming, and you need to be prepared. Hey, this is Ramon Foster. Did you know that new regulations are coming soon that could increase the price of replacing your older HVAC system by over 20%? That's why you need to act now and get that older system replaced by my friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They offer 18 months with no payments. You can lock in today's price and not have to pay until spring of 2024. Or you can get $1,500 off your new HVAC now. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is always backed by a 10-year parts and labor warranty on York products. And Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is also a York Certified Comfort Expert company. So if you're in need of repair work, they offer free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs. They are the heating and cooling company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, available anytime at springhillac.com.
7:02, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Tennessee Titans got it done again. They defeated the Indianapolis Colts 19-10 Sunday at Nissan Stadium to earn their 5th straight win over Indy. Also meant that they swept the season series over the Colts.
Ryan gets rid of it quickly. It's intercepted. 30, 40, 50. Adams 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown, Titans. Andrew Adams to the house.
That pick six was the Titans' only touchdown as Randy Bullock tacked on 4 field goals to help the Titans to their 4th straight victory and sole possession of first place in the AFC South. The Titans played Houston next Sunday, kickoff set for 3:05. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins eked out a win over the Steelers 16-10. Monday Night Football, Bears at Patriots. You can hear the game right here on The Zone. We know our two teams that are going to play in the World Series. The Phillies defeated the Padres by a score of 4-3. They clinched that series in 5. Astros over the Yankees 6-5. The Astros with the sweep. Wrong Foundation Repair and Waterproofing needs. Visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A lot of work to be done for the Tennessee Titans. We're just through 6 games, but this is a big win. Final score at Nissan Stadium. Tennessee 19, Indianapolis 10, as the Titans take on the Colts and get it done again.
The day ends in Y, and the Tennessee Titans still own the Indianapolis Colts. In an uncertain world, this thing is certain. Five wins in a row for the Tennessee Titans over Jim Irsay, Frank Reich, and Chris Ballard's Colts. And we react with you at 615-737-1045. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville, with 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, and Jonathan Schaefer. Andrew Adams, the Titan safety who had the 1 touchdown for the Titans yesterday, joins us at 9 a.m. this morning. Teresa Walker of the Associated Press at 9:20. Lots more reaction on the phone lines as well. And 60 minutes that has already flown by, friends, on this Monday
really
morning.
has.
It's like that on Victory Mondays, though.
Yep.
Sure is.
Tell everybody traffic's better, attitudes are better. You know, the coffee tastes a little bit better, even though it's burnt. Don't matter.
Didn't you just have Folgers, though, this morning?
I still got a hot cup of Folgers over here.
Was it the best part of waking up?
It's Folgers in your cup.
That's right.
Folgers in your cup.
That's right.
Save that, Chef.
615-737-1045. We go to Caples, talking Titans with us on the phone lines. Good morning, Mr. Caples. How are you?
Man, how y'all doing on this victorious Monday?
We are great.
And that it is.
Hey, I just got a couple of things, and I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to address each one of y'all individually. Auntie Taylor, you looking beautiful this morning. I know you just waiting to talk about your Seattle Seahawks, though, right? I know you are, because everybody was burying them and everything else, so you can elaborate on that. Will, get it right, bro. It's Kentucky week.
That's right. That's on me. That's on me.
Kentucky week, all right? Come on, let your vol come out.
That's fine. I accept.
And Ramon, on a serious note, man, can these offensive linemen get any better? Because right now, Dennis Daly looks like a turnstile, and I mean, it's terrible, man. It just stands out like Zach Bunch in the chat. That's what it stands out like. So, is there anything he can do to improve, man? Because we got some tough games coming up, a real tough stretch where we need the offensive line to be better. And you the resident offensive line pro, you know, our veteran, our guy. So if you can elaborate on that a little bit more, I'd appreciate it. And last but not least, man, hug a Colts fan today. Somebody hug them Colts fans today. And for that one Colts fan that we all love to loathe and hate, he can go sit in the corner for the rest of the year and can't say nothing in the chat because the Colts suck. And we wonder who their quarterback going to be next year, because last year they had Nathaniel Wentz, and this year they got Nathaniel Ryan. So who y'all going to go try to get next year, man? Tighten up.
Thank you, Caples.
This is a trend.
Is it what, Nathaniel Cousins next year?
Hey, I don't know.
I feel like Kirk Cousins would be the next quarterback to fit into the Indianapolis Colts mold. He's actually too good to be a Colts.
I was
he's
just
staying
going to
in
say.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Tebow.
Okay.
You know
We're not going anywhere near that.
Nathaniel Dalton.
Nathaniel Dalton. That's a good one.
Nathaniel Dalton.
Nathaniel Wilson.
Oh, great. So he'll throw not one pick six like Ryan did. He'll throw two.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Well, according to David Long Jr., he wanted to make it two yesterday. Yeah.
But answering Capel's question, Ramon, what can Dennis Daly do to improve on what he's done, or is this something the Titans are just going to have to keep working around?
Man, I had this conversation with somebody over the weekend, and it's a trend almost everywhere. Like, it just is. Offensive line play is just bad. Like, respectfully, that's why you see a guy like Ben Jones that know he can't come out of the games like that. That's why you see older offensive linemen, Dwayne Brown, like, Tyron Smith. He's older. He could probably be, I ain't going to say be pushed out, but there's a group of guys in this league that know, look, I know y'all suck in this league, you young offensive linemen. You guys that have gone in the shotgun your entire career, your entire lives. Like, there's a level of physicality, and we hear Coach Mack bring this up all the time. Football is a big-time game that's owned by the men in the trenches, the O-line and the D-line, and there's not enough emphasis on it. Like, if I can get on my soapbox real quick since y'all asked me, this is why I'm not allowing my youngest to play football right now.
Okay.
Because the coaching, the teaching of offensive line play isn't there right now. And I don't apologize for it. You should let them play.
Why isn't it
because
there?
nobody's teaching it. Everybody wants to go fast. Everybody wants to give the ball to the fast kid. Everybody wants to be the next Patrick Mahomes. Everybody wants to be the next George Kittle and Kelsey. And guess what? You can't have those guys if you don't have offensive linemen.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, my oldest, he knows this too. We play with a level of physicality at that position. I don't care how small you are or how tall or slender you are. My youngest, when he gets to that opportunity for me to put him out there, you better understand that, look, there's a level of physicality. There's a mindset. There is a go-to that's not being taught by guys that play that position. Dennis Daly is in that box right now of those guys that weren't taught the position correctly. Coaches have gotten lazy at that position.
And we're not seeing as much development in college either.
No, I know guys right now that have the body, the prototype to go play Division I football at tackle, at guard, at center, but the coaches want them ready-made. They want the five-star guy, and those guys are few and far between.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to develop that position. So guess what happens? They get in the offense. They score a whole lot of points. They run the ball because they spread it out, and that's fine. I love it. We play that, but I'll say this, looking at Coach Glenn Ellaby and how he's teaching these guys, you see what happened with Darnell Wright last week, right? He played a very physical game against potentially the number 1 overall pick, and what's his name from Alabama? Will Anderson.
And Dallas Turner on the other side was also locked up by Jeremiah Crawford.
Because you play with a certain physicality. I know I'm on my soapbox, but y'all
but this is this is facts for people wondering like about offensive line and the truth behind why you're not seeing a lot of newer guys step up and be stars.
It's so bad.
And I know we don't talk about them as stars,
but they should be. When you got a real good team, but your offensive line can't protect them. Like, we look at Tannehill walk out in a boot yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then I see Tannehill getting up by himself. I'm like, this is unacceptable. Like, the way you're taught to play that position, listen, there's no glory to it. It's a whole bunch of guts. It's a whole bunch of, like bumps and bruises. It's Ben Jones, okay? Like,
I feel like
Davis
yesterday.
went healthy.
Nate went healthy. And AMPF looked like it because what is Ohio State known for? Right now, wide receivers and offensive linemen. There are certain schools that put that type of stuff out there, and it's so frustrating. It's just not being taught, y'all. That's the answer.
Simple as that.
I'm with you. 615-737-1045, the number. We go to Scott in Fort Campbell up next with us this morning. Hello, Scott.
Hey, what's up, Moan? Hey, that was a good point because I actually pulled my son out, Peewee, because they weren't teaching the right way. He's a sophomore in high school now and just started playing again. But he's actually learning the game. But that's not the point that I'm calling. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
At the half, they interviewed Frank Reich, and his response was, "That's all right. We got Matt Ryan." If I could have seen Ron Slade's face when he made that comment, boy, y'all have a good day.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. I did not hear that.
Why would you set yourself up for disaster in that?
Oh, my
I think
God.
you know what the Titans are saying at halftime about a close lead? It's all right. They've got Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Jonathan Taylor yesterday, 10 carries for 58 yards. Michael Pittman in 2 games combined this year against the Titans, 9 catches for 89. That's 1 game typically for Michael Pittman. Yesterday, 6 catches for 58 on 9 targets. Jonathan Taylor in 2 games combined this year against the Titans, 30 carries for 100 yards. Jonathan Taylor should be getting that many touches in 1 game against the Titans. And I know health has been a concern for him, and he's been a bit banged up in both of his matchups against Tennessee this year. But tell you what, 30 touches in the run game. I know we had more catches, but 30 rushes is about half of what that guy should get in the perfect game plan for Indianapolis, not only against this Titans team, but against anybody.
And what's crazy, they built this team to beat the Titans.
They built it the same way as the
They
Titans.
mirror the Titans.
Yeah.
The Titans will tell you, all the players will tell you, they're just like us.
Just like us.
That's right. 615-737-1045. Travis and Dixon will lead us off after the break as we look at Ryan Tannehill's day yesterday. And I'll ask the question to both of you. Should Ryan Tannehill have gone back in the football game after his injury that had him in a walking boot talking to the media, going to and from the podium yesterday? We'll ask that question to Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson, and to you on the phone lines at 615-737-1045. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 1045 The Zone.
Football season is here. It's been here for a little while now. Lee Company, yeah, they've been here for these games that are statewide. Hey, it's Jonathan Schaefer, Lee Company, a proud partner of the Tennessee Titans, also locally supporting both Centennial and Ravenwood high school football teams this season, and many more in the Nashville community. From the professional game with the Titans to Friday Night Lights, community involvement is a Lee Company specialty, and it is at the heart of their mission. Check out all the home services and facility solutions. Check out all those partners of Lee Company at leecompany.com. You can also give them a call, 615-567-1000. So when you think of Lee Company, you think of solutions, services, and also think of community. 615-567-1000, also leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need.
One of the things I love about Genesis Diamonds is they're always bringing in new and fresh jewelry and diamonds. You're never going to see the same old choices at Genesis. With diamonds, they're always bringing in fresh cut stones straight from the world's best diamond cutters. Every size you can imagine, including the larger rare diamonds, 3 and 5 and even 10 carats. With designer jewelry, Genesis has partnered with all the top designers from New York and Los Angeles, and they are on the cutting edge when it comes to what's in style, what's hot, what's new and different. The stuff you see in Genesis, you will not find at other stores, guaranteed. So it's a constantly moving, constantly changing inventory, always new selections. It's another reason why Genesis dominates the jewelry scene here and why people drive for 2 hours and more to be able to shop at this amazing store. They've got it all. Huge selection, uncompromising quality, unbeatable value, ironclad warranties, and white glove customer service. And don't forget, luxury pre-owned Rolexes too. Continuously voted best jeweler and best place to buy an engagement ring. Genesis, located in Green Hills and in Cool Springs.
Ryan in the gun. Takes the snap. Looking. Pressured. Throwing. Intercepted. Long is at the 35, and he's tackled at the 38-yard line. Second straight game, David Long has picked her off, and the Titans have the football.
Ball hawk David Long and the Tennessee Titans defense get 5 wins in a row over the Indianapolis Colts, and 4 wins in a row in 2022 to get to 4-2, 19-10 yesterday in Nissan Stadium. That was the call of David Long's interception on Titans Radio, courtesy of the VOT. Mike Keith. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. That's right. That's what I was saying. Jonathan Schaefer, the best producer in the world, making the show happen. Will Bolick, Ramon Foster, and Kayla Anderson with you. We've talked a lot about the Titans' offensive line, guys, and we have not discussed much about Ryan Tannehill's injury yesterday. An ankle problem as he was being announced as questionable in the press box. He came back in the game and was running into the huddle. Were you guys surprised to see him come back in this game after his injury?
Mike brought up something in that, too. Because of Mike at the end of his call. He was like, Tannehill's like, nope, I'm going back.
Yep.
And he was like, I've seen this before as far as, like, injuries replacing a guy. And let's be real. If anybody's going in, it's Malik, right? And something good happened with Malik, and he's injured still. You look at that situation, and you're like, well, we can just go with him. Like, players play those tricks in their minds. I've told y'all that all the time. Quarterback and Kayla, you're there. You've been around a lot of quarterbacks. They're finicky dudes. Not that there's egos, but, like, when you're number one, when you're QB1, nothing is supposed to get in the way of that. Like, legitimately, like, oh, y'all love the backup? Well, let me show you why he's the backup. I think that's what Tannehill coming back in was. Well, no, I'm the quarterback of this team. I am the guy that leads the ship. If I'm hurt and I saw Nate go down, I saw Ben go down and he's hurt, who am I? I got to back this up too.
It's Tennessee tough, and that's what their motto is, right? And there's no joke that that's a real thing. And it doesn't matter who the player is, whether it's Jeffrey Simmons, Ben Jones, Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
These guys have been known as tough dudes, and that's why they're on this team. And this is no surprise. These players have been talking about Ryan Tannehill as a tough quarterback for a while now. This is not breaking news. And part of it with Ryan going back in too is I think he's just, he likes his fan base as much as they gave him grief, and rightfully so, for that playoff. Look, he's trying to prove himself too. And I think he doesn't feel like he owes it to the fans, but I think he needs for himself. It was like, hey, I'm here. I'm Ryan Tannehill. I'm tough, just like all these other guys. And he knows the chatter, what the chatter is.
And again, as rough as January 22nd was for him, and we all know that date, I think, like you said, he's fighting everything not to go into that realm again, right? Like, legitimately.
And it's died off. That talk has really died off.
I'm glad it is, because he's the best option, Kayla. Like, watching Malik get in, I was just like, don't do this. Like, of course, we're talking about Tannehill right now, right? But a part of me was like, don't do that, Todd Downing. Like, we don't need to see that. Ryan is doing fine. Why are we handing the ball off to Malik Willis anyway? Like, there's no way he should be in the game at that position unless you're doing a double pass, unless they're reverse going back to him. Like, why was that a thing yesterday when you got your QB1 already out there sacrificing himself? I'll say this, there are certain teams that do that type of stuff. Taysom Hill with Drew Brees, right?
Right.
And you saw Drew Brees on the sideline just looking ticked off. I know this. Ben wasn't allowing that. You got me QB1 for a reason. I'm not, you want to bring in an extra arm? My arm is real good. Oh, you want to bring in a quarterback to run a sweep play? No. My wide receivers are real good. I've been throwing to them all camp anyway. I don't care if my 1 and 2 aren't in right now. Don't bring in that guy. They'll never say it, but don't bring in that guy while I'm out here. For the ones that have that type of power, like, okay, I can do a double pass with a wide receiver. Don't bring in another quarterback.
It is a big issue right now for the Titans protecting Ryan Tannehill when he's 100%. Ryan Tannehill is far from 100% right now. This is a problem.
Yeah.
The Titans have right now. And for that reason, I was surprised the Titans put him back in the game, considering the score, considering the late lead that you had. At the time, it was You had 16, so you were looking for that last field goal late on in this game. I just didn't think you needed to put Ryan Tannehill back in that game. The way your defense was playing, the risk that you're taking later on in the season, given the way that you're blocking for him in that game, I was surprised to see him go back in. I didn't think he should have gone in. And quite frankly, when he was handing off to Malik Willis on the sweep that shouldn't have been called, he didn't look 100%. I mean, he was hobbling back just to give the ball off. His ability to find Austin Hooper on that last throw was fantastic.
All of that play was incredible.
And at
the
that
entire
point,
play.
Right. At that point, the Titans had 13 when he got injured. Malik Willis hands off. They get 16 there on the field goal. And it's ultimately Ryan Tannehill hobbling out of the pocket and really probably delivering his best throw of the season to Austin Hooper over the middle to set up the final field goal at 19-10 to close this thing out. So ended up working out, and I guess you can say that they made the right decision for now in putting him back in that game and taking that risk, because he led another field goal drive that won you the football game ultimately and kind of put this thing away. But I was surprised in that moment, to be totally honest with you.
Well, and we don't know what the aftermath is going to be right now, because like you said, he walked up to the podium with a boot on his right foot, and he was asked by so many people, how are you going to get through the night? And it's this and that. And I think Derrick Henry even said, I'm just hoping that, my man sleeps through the night, or because you just don't know with that type of injury. And it's not like they have a ton of time to rest to get ready for Houston. It's on the road, and your quarterback is bumped and bruised right now. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen in the next few days. I hope he's good to go, but if he's not, Malik Willis isn't going to have a choice.
No,
he's going to have to get ready for the big stage.
Jeez. On the road against that defense, say what you want to. That defense is nice. They suck as a team as Houston goes.
Right.
But both can be true, right? But both can be true, but he's young. Again, his adjustment to how fast his league play is, I think, will be a big eye-opener for him if he does get this start.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to lean on Derek for sure, 100%. And if they have to go to Malik this weekend, use his legs. I mean, that's just the safest bet for him and for this team right now.
Right.
I think it's certainly more likely that Ryan Tannehill does start against Houston, but you guys are both right in bringing up the fact that is no longer a 100% foregone conclusion.
No. Yeah.
Because the injuries like that will stiffen up and become bigger issues the next day. Like, I imagine today, that ankle is feeling raw.
It's not
really
feeling
bad.
good.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and you're right, you're right, because Ryan Tannehill has stayed really healthy during his time here in Tennessee, whereas that was kind of a question coming out of Miami, where he dealt with some health issues.
Yeah.
And now you got a little banged up, and teams know you're banged up, right?
Go after it.
And so even if he plays on Sunday, that doesn't mean he's going to be in the rest of the. I mean, if he gets knocked again, that ankle gets knocked again.
Yeah. Then he's going to reset again, and the bye week is over with. As far as like what a short week is, or a short bye week as far as Thursday night game, you may have that coming up, but there's no rest anytime soon. And right after that, I guess you ask yourself, this is a division game against a bad Houston team, and right after that you got the Chiefs at the Chiefs.
Right.
And then you got Denver at home. I don't know what they are right now, but health is always
they're bad.
Right?
That's
They're
what they are.
real bad.
They're going to be in our
Speaking
bottom
of-
3 tomorrow.
No quarterback.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no quarterback. But I said this while watching the game yesterday. I was like, but Derrick Henry is his team though too. You need I guess if you need just a shell of Tannehill to get you through a game, because he's efficient when he's throwing. He's taking care of the ball.
Yep.
He commands
that's
the offense.
huge.
Yes,
That
big
is
time.
huge.
He's taking care of the ball. He got the understanding of what this team is. As long as this defense is sustainable and the way they're playing, and big plays are made by you don't care who. And Derek can continue to run the way he has been. Just have you asked him, Kayla? Like, why now? Why, like, he's running like a man with his hair on fire right now, and it's been consistently this since when? About 4 weeks now that we've seen him kind of ever since the two losses to start the season. Derek has turned
Because that peed off.
that
Derrick
ticked him
Henry.
off.
Like those 2 losses.
Yeah.
That was not That was not good. And it got under his skin.
It had to. He looks like a different person running the ball.
He's getting better blocking up front, too.
Yes.
Run blocking, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he is getting better
Yes.
blocking, for sure.
Okay.
But I'm loving the effort he's running with.
Yeah.
I think that's big.
Mm-hmm.
615-737-1045 is the phone number this morning if you want to jump in. We go to Travis and Dixon up next on the phone lines. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning, Travis.
Hey, guys, good morning. I wanted to just make it real clear. There's a couple things. I know we put Tannehill back in the game yesterday, and, everybody's like, oh, my God, this is it. I'm like, man, the guy's a warrior. I mean, he's been stepping up every time he gets in there. Yeah, there's games that have been questionable. Let's see, playoffs. But for the most part, I mean, he's a freaking monster out there. I mean, he sticks with it. And, if we could get some people up front that had the same mentality as him, man, we could be something special. Because I wanted to give a shout-out to Matty Ice for hitting our defense in the numbers. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Travis. Appreciate the call.
Nathaniel Ice.
Melted ice.
Melted ice. That's where his career is now. Ugh.
Ultimately, this game comes down to the formula the Titans had in losses as well a season ago. Mike Vrabel said what? When he was at the Pro Bowl, recapping the season, said, well, this year I learned that when we lose the turnover battle, we lose the football game. You won the turnover battle, you won the football game.
Yeah.
Despite a really bad fumble on another rookie trick play in a moment that Todd Downing just didn't have the feel for the game. And you survived it because Ryan Tannehill took care of the football.
What do we got to do to get past that?
Get past what?
Todd Downing.
I mean, it is what it is at this point.
That's going to ever...
Just let that dog lay.
The soonest you can get past it is if Mike Vrabel sees it's bad enough to make a change this offseason. And heck, his former offensive coordinator, might be out of a job at the end of this season. And I'm not talking about Arthur Smith. I'm talking about Matt LaFleur.
Exactly. Well, and remember when Arthur was here as the offensive coordinator before he left for Atlanta, and the numbers they were putting up on offense, this was one of the best scoring offenses.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, it's kind of just gone from the best to, I think, towards the bottom now.
And to be fair to Todd Downing, he has to make some kind of creative move late in games because he doesn't have deep wide receivers.
The stars.
He doesn't have his two rookies that you brought in, Traylon Burks, to be the yards after catch, bang route over the middle and play action, take the ball 8 yards past the line of scrimmage and take it 30 more after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the route technician in Kyle Phillips who, man, we were talking last week about how big it was for him to be healthy and get beyond the shoulder issue. He did, and now it's a hamstring issue.
Yep. That's a real blow right there.
It's
Because I think people were expecting him, including Mike Vrabel, to be playing in Sunday's game. And
It's
that
huge.
happened, Friday?
That happened Friday. God,
The Titans at this point are relying on Derrick Henry to supply the explosive elements of this offense and to be the X plays. And he was close to doing so. I mean, he had a 23-yard gain to salt this lead away. He has 30 carries for 128, 4.3 yards per carry. The Titans average 3.9 as a team. When you talk about things that are sustainable and aren't sustainable, that's the one that's not super sustainable to me. Is Derrick Henry being the only explosive element of your offense. That's not going to continue.
It can't continue.
And it's not continuing in the second half most of the time unless Derrick Henry just does something crazy and runs through 3 or 4 guys, which he was starting to do a little bit more at the end of yesterday's game. That's as good as Derrick Henry's looked in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I think we can say that he took that step yesterday. Derrick Henry's had a lot of scripted big runs early on in games.
Yeah.
This was the first time in a couple of weeks where you got that feeling of, he's putting a team away like he typically does. The 23-yard gain to finish this game is what we have become accustomed to from Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And with that being said, though, as far as, who's going to be able to stop that? Like yesterday, we were watching because of the OL play, man, the screen game get blown up.
Yeah.
It was Derek got punched in the mouth on the screen game because Dennis Daly it was freaking open door policy over here, and I'm just like, dog.
And Dontrell Hilliard was not there.
Yeah, no.
Can I be honest with you on that?
Talk to me, Will.
Every time I see 2 running backs on the field,
Yeah.
it's a screenplay.
It's like the trick's
exactly.
old now.
And if I know it, I promise you that defensive analysts who are way smarter than me know it on the press box on the other side of the field.
Defensive players, you hear me, will call that out. Hey, here come the screen right here, right? Like they legitimately, and you probably saw them pointing and talking it out, like pointing which way it's going. Like I'm thinking to myself, like the screen game is good when you're giving up pressure, but if they're giving up pressure and they know you're throwing the screen game, then you get Derek smacked in the mouth for a loss of yards right there. I'm not gonna do this today. No,
it's
I'm
like
not gonna do this today.
It's like the Cam Newton clip of the defender going, "Hey, watch that wheel route.
Was it
watch
Bosa?
that wheel route?" And Cam Newton looks at him and goes, "You been watching film? Hey, me too. All right, watch this. Ready, set," and takes it and runs it for a touchdown.
Yeah, but
then watch that wheel route. No, it was an angle route is what it
an
was.
angle route, yeah.
If McCaffrey goes out for a wheel route and then puts his foot in the ground and cuts to the middle and they throw a touchdown. Hey, you watch it. Hey, me too. Watch this. Ready. It's just so good.
It's a very smart league, man. And again, like I said, we're not going down this Todd Downing rabbit hole right now.
But we can.
I know.
We've got the rest of the week.
It's a victory Monday, though, Will. It's a victory Monday.
Let's give them their.
Keep it real.
But if you're calling it from the stands, that is the screen when Hilliard and Derrick Henry is out there. What is a paid professional at middle linebacker seeing?
Well, duh.
I mean, they lost still.
But
the Colts suck too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Problematic. 615-737-1045 is the number. Paul, JP, Chris will get to you on the phone lines when we come back. Plus, we take a look at Derrick Henry's big day in the past game where he wasn't able to get as involved, but this was the Derrick Henry that we know and love. And it's what we've known and loved from the Tennessee Titans against the Colts because they beat them for the fifth straight time. 615-737-1045. It's Victory Monday on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
The 2023 model year Fords are out at Two Rivers Ford. And as always, you can count on Two Rivers Ford to make purchasing a 2023 Ford fast, easy, and fun. There are so many ways to shop. Like you can stop at the dealership in Mount Juliet. They're just east of the Nashville airport. Or you can reach out by phone to any of their non-commissioned salespeople at 800-900-1000. Or you can head to tworiversford.com to check out the inventory or to custom order the exact Ford you want. Whether it's an F-150, a Bronco, an Explorer, Escape, or Expedition, Two Rivers Ford will make sure you get exactly what you want for the price that is well below MSRP. And that goes for custom orders too. In fact, Two Rivers Ford has been selling all non-specialty new Fords below MSRP for decades. And speaking of decades, you always hear me tell you that Two Rivers Ford has been locally owned since 1983. And we all know how much they do for our Middle Tennessee community. But did you also know that Two Rivers Ford is nationally recognized? Two Rivers Ford is a Ford Motor Company top 40 sales dealership in the country, and that's out of almost 3,000 dealerships. No wonder they're able to sell at such great prices because they have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They've won Ford President Award for customer satisfaction numerous times and are simply great people. Reach out to Two Rivers Ford and see for yourself what everybody else is talking about. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people.
Give. Henry coming up the middle. 40, 35, 30. And he is tackled inside the 25 by Blackman at the 23. Ladies and gentlemen, go crazy. The Titans are going to win this football game. Yes!
And the Titans win the football game again because Derrick Henry finished off the Indianapolis Colts for the second time in 2022. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. And 2 games between the Colts and Titans this year. Jonathan Taylor, 30 attempts for 100 yards, no touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 52 carries for 242 yards and a score.
Yeah.
Big dub, man.
Big dub.
Big dub.
Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you. Jonathan Schaefer making the show happen on the phones at 615-737-1045. Paul is in Franklin to chime in with us next. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Big Ragu, my ball brother. What's up?
Go Balls, baby. It's Kentucky hate week.
Hey, brother, let me just tell you one thing right now. I usually call in for the Vols and for the Titans and give my analysis on the game, what we did, what we need to do better, what we did great. I'm not doing all that, Big Ragu. It's Victory Monday, baby. And all I got to say is this. God bless y'all. Love your show. Big Ragu. It's great to be not only a Tennessee Vol, but it's great to be a Tennessee Titan.
Talk
y'all
to
take
him.
care.
Talk to him,
Thank
baby.
you for the call, Paul.
Paul,
Go Vols.
man, I love Paul. Paul voice. I can listen to him just whatever
You
you
got
want to
that,
talk about, right? Like, take your time, Paul, anytime you call in.
It's got
Call it
authority.
anytime.
He does.
Authority to that voice.
He does.
JP in Nashville up next at 615-737-1045. What's going on, JP?
What's up, JP?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Victory Monday. Go Titans.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I just want to touch up on 2 things. One thing, National Tight Ends Day. Congratulations, Austin Hooper. Good for you. Second thing I want you guys to touch up on is, look, it's not pretty. It's not high scoring, but it's gritty, in your face, smash mouth. And I think the defining moment of yesterday's game and our season is when Derrick Henry on the last drive had a 4-yard gain and the offensive line picked him up and carried him for 6 more. And Ben Jones gets up at the bottom of the group, and I'm talking about celebrating, going crazy. That's Tennessee Titans football.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, JP.
I'm with it, JP.
It was really the perfect performance for Titans-Oilers Alumni Weekend, that's for sure.
It was fitting.
It was so cool seeing those guys out there too, man. I had somebody this weekend, a mom from my son's travel team, Miss Tammy, man. I can't call her Miss Tammy. Heck, we got kids on the same team. Tammy was out there, and her husband took pictures with CJ2K, and I think Eddie was all in the pictures. It was a great time, man. It was really cool also to hear that Chris Johnson's one of those guys.
He feels way more welcomed back,
and that's
I feel
what I was
like.
gonna say. Recently, I forget who it was. They said like he's actually been spearheading the group of guys that are coming back. Like he's been the one reaching out. Like y'all need to come back. That's cool, man. Had on the big juice chain and everything yesterday, man. Good.
He did a lot of good stuff. I know he's a big fan favorite here. I want to go back on Derrick Henry really quick.
Sure.
Because we're talking about, the best backs in the league right now. So I just want to kind of give an update to the people out there wondering where Derrick Henry is in this race. Because, look, Derrick Henry, no matter what he tells you, he's keeping track. That's Derrick Henry. Like, he's a competitor. He wants to know who's in front of him. He wants to know his numbers. He keeps track of all that stuff. So Nick Chubb is actually leading the way right now in the league with 740 total yards. This is a guy who I think we've all talked about.
Yeah.
We all have followed Nick Chubb. He's had a great career, so he continues to do his thing. Saquon Barkley, talk about a bounce-back year, doing what he needs to do. He's right there with 726 yards. Josh Jacobs, Raiders running back.
Wow.
Coming in at 3 with 633 total yards. And then here's Derrick Henry, top 4.
Yeah.
Coming in at 536 yards, averaging just 4 yards per carry, so a little bit less than the other guys. But I feel like he's just starting.
Yeah.
He's starting to rev up the motor here.
That's what I was just going to say. It's a lot of season left for him to take that crown again. Chubb is nice, though.
Chubb's nice.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yep.
We're not even in D. Henber yet.
No, we're not.
What?
He's defrosting for the winter as we speak.
What is it? Winter is coming? Is
That's
his
right.
like when the crown comes on? And
That's right.
Oh, look.
Shout out Game of
That's a
Thrones.
real thing.
D. Henber.
Well, I know a lot
yeah.
of people are
a thing.
kind of it's controversial when you say Dehember.
Dehember.
People have been on either side of the fence on that.
Really?
If they like that.
Who doesn't like that?
Dehember.
I don't know. That's just what I've heard.
Unbelievable.
It's what Twitter tells me sometimes.
Unbelievable.
That's what Twitter tells me. Twitter's the land of the biggest haters, the biggest
It's
like anti anything. But you're right, Kayla. I enjoy it.
Twitter's fun.
Dehember.
A lot of haters,
That's good.
lot of haters, a lot of podcasters on Twitter.com.
Oh my God.
No, it's a good point, and he's played one less game than a lot of those guys too, considering the early bye week for the Titans.
Yep.
So, again, the reason why to me Derrick Henry is the king of the running back position in the National Football League is because he is the consistent member of this conversation when you talk about the best running backs in the league. Because a couple of weeks ago it was Jonathan Taylor. A couple of years ago it was Christian McCaffrey. Now we're doing Nick Chubb again. The one guy that's consistent in this conversation for best back in the league is still Derrick Henry because he takes over and wins games single-handedly on the offense like he did yesterday.
And a guy that got traded, what was the first rounder or whatever it was, did nothing yesterday for San Francisco.
Yeah, he had a good first drive and then kind of quieted down.
Yeah.
After 49ers got 3 points on that first drive, it was problematic for them. 615-737-1045 is the number. Halftime of the show already.
Wow.
Hope you didn't blink because you missed some of our show this morning. And when we come back, we look at a stat we talked a lot about last week with Mike Vrabel with 9 or more days of rest in the regular season. Now we update that with this game against the Indianapolis Colts. And it's not only the record that's impressive for Mike Vrabel teams off a bye week, it's the margin of victory in those games that remains impressive and remains a hallmark of what the Titans are under Mike Vrabel since 2018. We recap that. We take more of your phone calls at 615-737-1045 on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 1045 The Zone.
It is 8 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Tennessee Titans got it done again. Defeated the Indianapolis Colts 19-10 Sunday at Nissan Stadium to earn their 5th straight win over Indy. Also swept the season series.
Ryan gets rid of it quickly. It's intercepted. 30, 40, 50. Adams 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. End zone. Touchdown. Titans. Andrew Adams to the house.
He took it 76 yards. He's going to join us an hour from now here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. It was the Titans' only touchdown. Randy Bullock tacked on 4 field goals to help the Titans to their 4th straight victory and also sole possession of first place in the AFC South. The Titans play at Houston next Sunday, kickoff at 3:05. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins 16, Steelers 10. Monday Night Football, Bears at Patriots. You can hear the game right here on The Zone, courtesy of Westwood One. We know our teams for the World Series. The Phillies defeated the Padres 4-3. The Phillies clinched the NLCS in 5 games. Astros 6, Yankees 5. The Astros swept the Yankees to get to the World Series. For all your foundation repair or waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A lot of work to be done for the Tennessee Titans. We're just through 6 games, but this is a big win. Final score at Nissan Stadium. Tennessee 19, Indianapolis 10, as the Titans take on the Colts and get it done again.
They get it done in the AFC South, and the Titans keep on winning 4 in a row and 5 straight against their arch rivals in the AFC South. It is Remote Kayla and Will, powered by All 4 Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Alongside Remote Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling with the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer.
The best producer in the world!
Pushing all the right buttons behind the glass in our new 104.5 The Zone studios. 615-737-1045 is how you jump in on the conversation in this, our first Victory Monday in our brand new home in the 104.5 The Zone studios.
It is, man. Look at us.
Second week
Who'd have thought?
in the new digs.
Well, somebody thought it. Just not us.
Not me.
Okay, not us.
Who'd have thought? Not me. We go back to the phone lines where you can join us at 615-737-1045. Curtis is in Nashville chiming in with us this morning. Hello, Curtis.
What's up, Curtis?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're great.
Great. I just wanted to talk about how Malik Willis saw a couple snaps yesterday, and yeah, I know that one play kind of went bad. I think it was a jet sweep or whatever, that we fumbled the ball and turned it over. But I think that was a fluke, and I think Malik Willis is very agile, and he's a pretty good runner, and maybe if they start involving him in the run game a little bit more, he could help take the pressure off of Derrick Henry in the box. All right, I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Curtis. Ramon?
With Malik?
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
He's a quarterback. Treat him as such. All right. If okay, let's revisit real quick because we always seem to forget.
Yep.
You brought in the excitement around Malik was what him potentially replacing Ryan Tannehill and being a guy that can add some spice to this offense. Throwing him into sets to where he's got to constantly run the ball, and Malik's a thick guy, but he's not a big guy, right? You say that. I don't think him in the run game is going to assist Derek more than what Tannehill does also. Like, Tannehill got down a little bit yesterday, too. Like, he ran the ball and made first down and stuff like that. Me, honestly, that's the extent of what I see Malik doing. I don't know if Malik is a 4-3 guy. I don't know if he's a 4-4 guy, but we hadn't seen him break away from anybody thus far other than, like, breakdown and passing plays. So to say there's a run option with Malik that's going to turn the Titans' offense over, heck, you got that guy at quarterback now, just being real. And if that's the case, I hate talking about coaches, I feel like, but like Todd hadn't even drawn it up for Tannehill.
Right.
Like, you have a similar type. We're forgetting that Ryan Tannehill is a former wide receiver and not a high school one.
His middle name is Tannewheels.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this dude played wide receiver in college not that long ago, well, before he became a quarterback. You got the speed there. You got the ability to extend that option out. If you put Malik in, I feel like you take a dimension away. That's just me personally. So to say it's going to assist Derek or move Derek forward, I love the concept and idea of it, but you better have a guy that can actually throw the ball to at that position. And Malik has the arm, but of course it's like what? It's like molding clay at this point. You got to shape Malik into what it's going to be. I didn't like a single rep that Malik took yesterday. Not for him, because I thought it was unnecessary.
Had 2 snaps and was in the game for a third and then went immediately back out of the huddle because the first quarter ended.
Yeah, nah. I didn't like a single rep he took because there's no need to have seen him at all thus far. It just ain't. Every play that he had didn't work yesterday. So why are we being, in the words of Goody Mike, why are we being cute?
Well, in Kayla, too, I think the interesting thing about this is that him and using his legs is not going to be a Lamar Jackson kind of fit, even when he is the guy, if that ends up happening. I think it's probably closer to the way the Chiefs use Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And moving him out of the pocket
Sure.
and having that option to scramble. They're not. There are some design runs for Patrick Mahomes, and this is the only reason I'm going to make this comparison, is not to say that Malik Willis is Patrick Mahomes, but to say that their mobility should be used in similar ways, not as run-first guys, but as run-second guys.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, talk about Lamar Jackson. He's 5th in rushing, in total rushing in the league. Like, that's not typical for a quarterback. And you're exactly right. If you do see Malik in the future, I think it's more so of a Patrick Mahomes type of situation. Look, he is mobile. He can run, but I don't think you're going to set him up to be that type of a quarterback.
To me, if we're asking for anything from Malik, is this, and I hate to even compare him to a guy that's in college. The successful Malik that I want to see is Bryce Young-like. You can run if you need to.
Sure.
But I need you to use your legs around the pocket to get open, to bring your receivers open. Like, I tweeted about Bryce this weekend, watching him play.
Yeah.
I'm like, the kid is nice.
Yeah,
and as high as he's going to get drafted, he's probably going to go to an offensive line where he's got to move around like that. That's what I would rather see from Malik if he's in that role. Look, use your legs to free up your arm is where I'm at with him. Because until I see him break down an entire defense the way Lamar Jackson did, I don't want to see him in that role if he's the guy to be. Because remember, on draft night, Malik Willis, everybody's excited because he's the quarterback of the future. You put your quarterback of the future in a bad position like that, as far as running him, that ain't it. Or you put him out there too early. That's not trending in the right way of his development to me.
And regardless of what he runs in the 40-yard dash, that is not the issue. To me, it's the size and the durability of a guy like that who, quite honestly, can't afford to take hits like a lot of other quarterbacks can. And the reason why Lamar Jackson has that freedom is because he is harder to take down than most running backs.
A different breed.
And most wide receivers.
Yeah, he's different.
You don't compare quarterbacks to Lamar Jackson unless their name is Michael Vick, because Lamar Jackson is the standard for running quarterbacks, and not bad for a running back, as you often say. So I could care less what Malik Willis has at the 4.4 speed or whatever. I don't care. He's not big and physical and durable enough to take those hits and survive it. So
look how long it took for us to even get to have a conversation about like Mike Vick.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is early 2000s. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And even Michael Vick. I mean, I could go off on that soapbox that defenses adjust to guys like that.
But in
it's
a sense
hard
of
to sustain a career like that unless you are a transcendent talent as far as being elusive and breaking tackles.
But you even saw in Vic's career later on, it was Andy Reid that forced him to throw more. Vic also said he wanted to throw the ball more in Atlanta. So it's not necessarily, look, it just turned out that way. It's just, look, when you're the best athlete on the field, Will, you exposed. That's what Lamar did. What was his second year? It's like he took the league by storm, and then everybody started looking for that type, not realizing go get you a hybrid guy like a Patrick Mahomes.
And even now,
or Josh Allen.
And even now, Lamar Jackson is not sustaining the MVP numbers he was putting up in the first couple weeks of the season.
Has he taken them all the way?
No, he's not.
Yet.
Hasn't yet.
No, he is not. You can thank Big Jeff and Jarrell Casey for that partly as well in 2019.
He always find a way, don't he, to put his petty. They call me petty. No, he's
Will's
the one
king.
who knocks on petty door.
That's right.
Y'all petty as hell.
Don't even deny it either.
And I'll do it with a smile on my face. 615-737-1045.
He is the one who knocks. The Phenom!
You're not wrong. There's only one Phenom. That's right.
There we go.
What he said. Titans are still the NFL's only undefeated team since Mike Vrabel was hired in 2018 at 9-0 with 9 or more rest days in the regular season. Let me say that again. Still the only undefeated team since Mike Vrabel was brought in with 9 or more rest days. That means buys, mini buys in the regular season. No, I'm not counting the games against Baltimore and the games against Cincinnati. This is a regular season stat. Those are separate issues. And they have outscored teams 256 to 97 in those games after yesterday's 19-10 win over the Colts.
Sheesh.
If that's not coaching, I don't know what is.
Yeah. No, that's again, we speak. There's so many really good coaches in this league, right?
Yeah.
That you wonder, okay, how come that guy hadn't? I'll be honest with you, Coach Tomlin. I say to myself, how come you didn't win, the Coach of the Year yet?
Yeah.
And here's Vrabel finding a way to a T. As you mentioned earlier, that locker room. They don't hear anything else other than Vrabel tells them. They don't do anything else other than Vrabel said. Like, I saw a tight end yesterday miss a block for a tackle for loss.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he won't be playing next week. You know what I'm saying? Because Vrabel has ingrained in us to expect out of them, you're going to play tight end, you better block in the run game. And so that's coaching. That's establishing a culture that the expectations are always that high.
And you don't have to like exactly everything Mike Vrabel does as a player.
Nope.
But if you respect your team and you respect the way they're doing it and you believe you fit in that type of culture, you're going to do everything you can to make it happen.
100%.
You don't have to 100% love him.
No.
Right?
But there's a lot of components of what he does. We're seeing right now, too, I'm seeing it being retweeted out, the hug of him and Ben Jones.
That's Chris Harris.
Chris
Harris,
posted
WSB, Channel 4.
I got an alert from Bleacher Report that they were tweeting it out. So I'm just like, now that's going viral in the sense of you want to play for a guy that loves his players like that.
Kind of an emotional clip.
It was. Because they didn't let go.
Yeah, cool video after the game if you didn't see it. Chris Harris of Channel 4 put it out of Mike Vrabel hugging Ben Jones for a while and talking with him as he makes his way off the field and into the locker room. And I know media often sees this, and maybe fans don't often get to see Mike Vrabel standing outside the locker room, shaking every single player's hand as they come back off the field at the end of a game. That's a routine for Mike Vrabel, specifically after wins, to just congratulate those guys as they make their way back into the locker room. If you haven't seen it, check out Chris Harris on Twitter. We retweeted it from the Zone about an hour ago. Pretty cool to see that moment and see that kind of praise for a guy that was banged up and was adjusting his knee and was playing through some bumps and bruises yesterday for sure. 615-737-1045 is the number. We'll get to Dustin and Wyatt on the phone lines when we come back. And we dive deeper into another breakout star for the Titans yesterday who stepped up in a big way on offense. The Austin Hooper game for the Tennessee Titans. Haven't talked a lot about him and what he was able to do because he had more yards yesterday than he did in his first 5 games as a Tennessee Titan. Showed up in a big way for Ryan Tannehill in this offense. We break down his performance coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors right here on 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster from myphdweightloss.com. I told you guys, we're on this journey. If you've been walking with me, you know what? Tweet me. Say something to me because it's been really cool for me. And I know a lot of you are probably asking the question, well, Mo, what does it actually, entails? Well, this morning, wake up, had a shake. Real quick, protein shake. Drank it, no problem, okay? Had a cup of coffee, some water, and then next thing you know, just had breakfast at the end of the last hour. 3 eggs, 3 strips of bacon with coffee with half and half in it. Like, that's how simple it gets for you if you stick to the plan. This isn't you have to hit the gym. This isn't you got to go do a burn session for a while. This is simply changing the way you look at your diet. And with my PhD weight loss, it has been the best for me because I got a plan. I understand what that plan is, and I see how it works. On average, most males that go into my PhD weight loss, they have from 3 to 5 pounds a week. And for female clients, it's from 2 to 3.5 pounds a week. If there's something that interests you before the holiday season kick off and you decide to loosen up that belt, tighten it up a little bit with myphdweightloss.com. Again, visit myphdweightloss.com.
We're a tough team. We're going to keep battling, and we find a way to win. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to accomplish each and every week is going out and finding a way to win. And our team's going to battle and find a way to do that.
There's Ryan Tannehill post-game after a 19-10 win for the Tennessee Titans over the Indianapolis Colts, the 5th consecutive win for this team against the biggest rivals in the AFC South, and the team that, according to national media, is the team the AFC South goes through. Not the case again this season. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, a 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling here with you. Coming into yesterday's game, guys, Austin Hooper had 55 yards in a Tennessee Titans uniform this season. Yesterday, he had 56. 3 catches, 56 yards, and I got to be honest, when I saw it the first time live, I thought there was no chance he caught that football that he bobbled on 3rd down to prolong that drive and set up Randy Bullock's final field goal.
He was asked about it after the game at his locker. He said, I had no doubt I had that ball.
Really?
And he said, we all felt obviously extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank here. Confident in Mike Vrabel when he threw the flag. And we'll get into that flag throwing motion in just a minute because it was epic. But he said Mike Vrabel does such a good job of just knowing the rules, making sure we know the rules.
Yeah.
But he had no doubt that he had that ball. And sure enough,
it was a catch.
It was a catch.
By far one of the best catches I've seen this year in the sense of just concentration. Just watching them kind of bring it in right there. And the other part was he finally appeared.
Yeah.
We got Austin Hooper, and he looked excited. He was happy.
He was pumped after the game, too.
It was some hard, though. He had some tough catches and hits, too. And he held them all in. And so I'm just looking, you know what I'm saying? The old Kobe gift. More.
Oh, yeah.
More.
Mm-hmm.
Where's more of him, especially if your wide receiver outfit looks like that? Like, he can be a huge part of this. I know Chig didn't get a whole lot yesterday.
Yeah, just one target.
Yeah. One target, but like Austin, man, I don't know who you need to bring coffee and donuts to, but continue.
But he said, too, because he's been asked about this so many times, and I told you guys he was asked about it earlier in the week again about, you guys had so much chemistry between you and Tannehill in camp. Why isn't this, happening? And he said after the game, sometimes different people have big games, and this was my game. Like I had the big game that I needed to have. He goes, maybe it doesn't happen next week. We hope it does. But he's good in terms of knowing his role too, and he's not going to throw a temper tantrum if he's not getting the ball in every game. Even though I feel like right now they need to utilize him.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a tough adjustment for players that come into that locker room and come into this scheme because there are not many offenses around the league that are built around a running back the way the Titans have built the offense around Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And there's got to be that adjustment period of having the right personality within the culture of that team to know I'm not going to get a lot of opportunities. I'm not going to be a high-volume guy in this passing game because this offense isn't built around the passing game. So when I get those opportunities, I have to take advantage.
Yeah.
And credit to Austin Hooper, caught all 3 of his targets, 56 yards, a 23-yard play from Ryan Tannehill, the second longest pass play of the game behind the 27-yard catch by Cody Hollister. And we talked about it last week. Somebody was going to have to step up. And specifically, I put it out on Twitter before the game and just said, with Kyle Phillips and Treylon Burks now both out, it has to be Chikakonkwo and Derrick Henry stepping up with the pass game. And I even said it at the moment. I'll raise my hand and say I was wrong. Said it'd be great if Austin Hooper could step up, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And look what he did.
And he did.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go back to the challenge really quick, though?
Absolutely.
Because Mike Vrabel was known before for chucking the flag. What was that, against New England?
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
Yeah. And
that
that was an A plus throw.
It was a Gronk spike.
It was. And then we see yesterday the mic drop. Literally MIKE drop. Thanks to Twitter and all the fans out there for that one. It was epic.
It was.
Like, that guy continues to just entertain while being a good head coach and doing it.
He's doing all the things players wish they could do as a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who drops
Who drops the mic
the
like
flag like that? Like legit, because most of the time the coaches don't want to ruffle the umpires and referees like feathers. He's like, nah, I got this one. Here we go. Good on him, man. And he got the crowd going. It was trending yesterday, too. I'm just like, goodness.
Plus, he knew that in that moment, that was a game-deciding call, and that it didn't matter if the referees were not the biggest fan of him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They didn't have the ability to screw it up for him anymore.
And the fans knew on the replay. They showed it twice, and the fans were going crazy in Nissan Stadium because they saw it. They knew it was a catch.
That's right.
They did, 100%.
It was funny. I saw Roger Goodell yesterday in Nissan Stadium at the game.
Whoa.
There was a picture of Mike Vrabel shaking Roger Goodell's hand. And I apologize for whoever put this out. I didn't see who tweeted it. I don't remember who tweeted it, but I saw it on Twitter just in the craziness of everything yesterday. And somebody said, Roger, you get my email about your officials a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
From the report that was out there last week that Mike Vrabel hit reply all on a memo about officiating with details about how many missed calls they'd been victim of and things that were being missed. And Mike Vrabel doesn't just make these statements and move on. He is a part of the betterment of the game and being on the competition committee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you go back to the playoff game against New England, of course, in 2019, where you get all the delay of game penalties that were stacked up against one another against New England in that game, get the clock down to 4 minutes and all of those things. Mike Vrabel has an intimate knowledge of the rules that not a lot of head coaches in this league have.
Right.
That's what I said. Austin Hooper brought that up yesterday. And Mike Vrabel said it himself on the podium last week when asked about that reply all email. He goes, what am I trying to hide? You guys know me. I'm not trying to hide anything. He'll tell you.
Savage.
Other than injury updates on a Monday.
That is true. That's the Belichick way.
That's the Belichick way. There is one guy, though, that I kind of want to see his role grow a little bit more, but I don't know if they're strategically holding him back or whether he doesn't know the entire playbook and what it means for him to be on the field and how to be a part of this offense. But Hassan Haskins.
Yeah.
Like, if we're looking for playmakers,
I agree.
I'm willing to look at him more than I am. I say respectfully, Cody Hollister.
I'm disrespectful.
Mason Kinsey. Like I almost feel like there's more playmaking ability left in Hassan Haskins than almost anybody else on this offense too. And the fact that he's a return man and does that very efficiently. The fact that you know he plays a physical style of ball. The fact that you know he has good wheels and speed behind him too. I'm looking at that and saying, God, I know we love watching Dontrell Hilliard and what he brings to it too, but I'd almost bet a little bit on Hassan Haskins and what he can do for this offense, even if it means giving Derek a breather here or there, in the run game.
He's coming on strong, and I said it yesterday as well that I think Hassan Haskins is good enough at this point to just be a like-for-like replacement for Derrick Henry when you need him to be.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we expected him to do because he's not Dontrell Hilliard. That's a different type of back. I mean, he's more of a minus the size, a Derrick Henry type of back, right?
Yeah.
And the more and more they start to feel confident with him and him kind of coming along, I feel like the more and more we will see him kind of coming in, giving Derek breathers. But he's a big key special teams player.
And maybe that's the role too for him right now. Coach is a shelf guy. We're like, no, be patient. This is a long league. You can have a long career if you listen to me. And maybe that's the conversation they've kind of had with Haskins a little bit. Like, we know it's there, but it's a matter of Derek's our guy, and you're not Derek right now,
615-737-1045, the number. No, you're right. And I thought about that yesterday, specifically with having 4 wide receivers up.
Yeah.
And having to bring up 2 guys who are mainly practice squad players, in Cody Hollister and Mason Kinsey. You had 2 guys who started the season on the 53-man roster at wide receiver active yesterday. So you knew that Hassan Haskins and Dontrell Hilliard were going to get more opportunities.
Right.
Haskins gets 1 target, catches it for 5 yards, and Dontrell Hilliard was targeted twice and didn't have a catch in this game. I completely agree with you. I think there's a place for Hassan Haskins to contribute to this offense through the rest of this season. I'm with you. 615-737-1045. We go to Wyatt in Murfreesboro up next on the phone lines. Good morning, Wyatt.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I just wanted to call in and say that I think the Titans defense looks a lot more complete whenever Bud Dupree is out there on the field and he's healthy, I think that whenever he is there, they tend to win more games. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I do think that that's a guy that sometimes kind of gets overlooked because he has missed a few games being hurt here and there. But I do think whenever he is there that they do tend to play better as a team, and they're constantly getting after the quarterback. I mean, constantly. So, let's just pray that Jeffrey Simmons is going to be all right. Because I don't know what will happen if not, but I feel like he is the heart and soul of the Titans defense. So that's all I got, man. Thanks for letting me call in.
Thanks,
no
Wyatt.
doubt. Welcome anytime.
Appreciate the call. I completely agree that a healthy Bud Dupree completely changes the dynamic of this defense, as does a healthy Amani Hooker.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
having Amani back is big for that secondary, but also brings just they complement each other so well.
Yeah,
that front four.
They do.
And when Bud's in there, it's just kind of like, I mean, you could have Harold Landry. That'd be the perfect piece like we saw last year.
Can
But
you
just
imagine?
even having those guys all there and healthy, they just complement each other so well.
And that's the thing about what was he? Was he double digit pressures yesterday or 8? It was 8 or 10 QB pressures yesterday from Bud.
He doesn't get all the statistical love, right?
Exactly.
That doesn't matter.
But that pressure of pushing Matt Ryan up and seeing Big Jeff just clean his clock on a play. You know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, like. And this was always my description of Bud for people. Double digit. No. The sacks is one thing, and I'm a fan of the sacks because it means you beat your man or you were schemed up to go get a sack or something like that. But with Bud, that pressure that you put on a quarterback can change the throw.
It's almost like you feel Bud coming. Like I was watching a little bit of film yesterday, and the way he comes off, like he is just a beast.
On the Andrew Adams interception. Bud was right there putting pressure on him. You look back at that play, he's trying to get the ball out quick, not realizing Andrew Adams is right there for a pick six waiting to happen. Bud is a pressure you, stop the run game, disruptor on defense. The sacks is fine. Vaughn plays what? 30% of the defensive snaps? And he's a sack getter.
He's a sack guy.
That's what you want out of Vaughn. I mean, look at Michael Parsons. They're finding roles for him to go be a sack getter. We're looking at the decline right now. Not the decline, but if Aaron Donald doesn't have Von Miller or an elite rusher on the outside, his numbers go down. All of this kind of works in a sense of, look, you need guys that pressure the quarterback to force other people into sacks. There's nothing wrong with playing that role either. And that's an asset to your team because this guy's a headache to offensive linemen, and it looked like it yesterday.
615-737-1045. Big game for Bud Dupree, the sack that he added, 1 of 3 for the Titans on defense, and certainly made a big impact in helping out that secondary that looked a little bit different. And a member of that secondary, Andrew Adams, joins us as well today at 9 a.m. We'll certainly ask him about that and how playing with that front four affects the confidence level for the guys at the back end, because it certainly made it look like a different defense yesterday. We go to Rick in Hendersonville up next on the phone lines. Good morning, Rick.
Morning, Rick.
Good morning, guys and ladies.
Hello.
Question. Statement, I guess, and question. Why can they not move Hooper to the slot and still use him across the middle, use him on the down and outs, on the short passes? He'd basically be running the same routes he runs as the tight end.
Thank you, Rick. To me, Ramon, and correct me if I'm wrong.
No, go ahead.
It feels like Chigakonkwo's skill set fits being a slot more so than Austin Hooper's.
Yeah. Justin Ben, I think he's quicker than Austin is.
Yes.
You can line Austin up almost anywhere in a sense, except for outside. But he's a tight to the formation tight end more than it is anything else. I look at Hooper and say he's a possession guy. He's going to come off the line of scrimmage, work the linebackers, and get open. That's his role. You catch him down the seam by himself. And another thing, well, there's so much to go into who's a slot guy, who's not a slot guy, you know?
I'll tell you the other thing, too, is that the offensive line needs as much help from the tight ends as blockers as they can.
More than ever.
Ooh, sigh.
I got a big sigh from you on that one.
You did, because
sounded like thunder.
I wonder, though, if you didn't have a big dynamic back like Derrick Henry, what would be the rushing total for this team, though? You know, as it stands with this OL right now, Taylor's done for the season. You got, Aaron at left. You got Ben Champ at center. You know what I'm saying? Nate was out, and then you got a rookie right tackle who's played fair enough, but he has his discrepancies too. Deficiencies. What is this rushing game if it wasn't for Derrick?
Let's ask that question when we come back and take more phone calls at 615-737-1045, because this was a Derrick Henry game yesterday for sure, but with a lesser running back, it likely is not a 100-yard rushing performance for this Tennessee Titans team. 615-737-1045. We also take a look around the NFL at headlines league-wide and give you a little bit of perspective on why ugly wins are acceptable this year in the NFL based on a couple of quarterbacks that are used to winning pretty who lost ugly yesterday. Coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone.
never would have dreamed that, given the opportunity to be a head coach in this league, that you'd be able to coach a bunch of guys that are as tough as they are, that care about each other.
That's Mike Vrabel post-game after his team's 5th consecutive win over the Indianapolis Colts. Titans get the win. We talk with Titan safety Andrew Adams coming up in 15 minutes this morning. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you. Ramon, based on the way the Titans offensive line played yesterday, how many running backs in this league are getting 100-plus yards yesterday, given the way that they looked?
Not many. Like, there's a level to, rushing and like being dynamic in offensive lines that kind of go hand in hand. We saw a guy lose his career, but retired early because he never had an offensive line in front of him as far as Barry Sanders go, right?
Sure.
Like, we saw that happen. Like, it wears on you because it's too many hits that you got to take. And honestly, we had this conversation in the offseason, like, why y'all waiting to pay Derek a little bit more cash? Because he's your bellhop. He's your worker. You know what I'm saying? As far as, like, getting yards. It ain't many that can get the yards that he get with the way they block at times. Now, you look at the offensive sets and the way the defense is set up against him too, and it's going to be a problem for him to get to the line of scrimmage. If you look at him, it seems like he lines up further than most other running backs do because he needs time to see it. It's a beaten up offensive line for the most part. Most running backs are probably getting like 60 yards with the way they go about it, but Derek has this fear that he gives to opposing defenses that kind of opens it up for him. Like, you see guys make business decisions when tackling Derek. Like the safety that grabbed his hand. He didn't take Derek on straight ahead. He tried to grab him from the side and ended up holding his hand. And then he lunged at him. But most running backs in this position probably getting 50, 60 yards. Derek's turning out a hard 100 and what this past weekend? A hard
128.
Yeah,
128. He's unique.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing they did with Derrick Henry yesterday was lift him up off the ground and carry him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard to ask of almost any running back. And I've been in that situation before where I knew we were below the line, and it becomes very personal to your attack on defenses at that point.
And I don't think anybody does it better when it comes to, the Indianapolis Colts know if they're going to, have a chance, usually it's to stop Derek. And they can't break that. Like, Derek has done business against the Colts.
Yeah.
When he plays the Colts. It's almost like he takes his mindset to a different level, too.
Yeah.
I know he didn't get in the end zone, and I know a lot of people wanting to see him break a record and everything, but he racked up some yards and helped that team out in a big way yesterday.
Yeah.
Certainly did. 615-737-1045. More yards yesterday on the same amount of carries that Jonathan Taylor had in 2 games combined against the Titans. Jonathan Taylor in 2 games against Tennessee this year, 30 carries for 100 yards. Derrick Henry yesterday, 30 carries for 128.
Talk about the opposite of not being able to do it.
That's right.
I mean, last year we all heard about how great of a back he was.
Is this your
He
case?
is a good back.
He is a good back.
Great
We
player.
will not take that from him, right?
He's a top 5 running back.
Yeah.
He's not top 1. I mean,
It's so petty.
Am I lying?
You're
Am
so
I lying?
petty.
Show
You
me where I
just
lie.
said from such a petty place.
That's fine.
Kayla, I had no idea he was raised this way. Okay?
You knew.
We all find out things when
You've
we get to
learned.
work with each other.
He's so
Longer and longer, the more
learned.
skeletons come out.
That's right.
Oh, I love it.
You ain't
Will.
seen nothing yet. 615-737-1045. We go to Ick in Antioch up next on the phone lines. What's going on?
So,
What's up, y'all? How you doing? It's Ick.
what's going on, Ick?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I just want to let y'all know. Me and Slay tried to tell y'all Nathaniel.
You did.
Ryan was going to mess up at the end. And what happened?
He messed up in the middle and the end.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hey, but look, shout out to, even though everybody else, shout out to that offensive line because, I mean, Ben Jones, it looked like he was playing hurt there for a minute. It's just like, they don't get enough respect. I understand. Like, in my head, that's my favorite team. But they weak, but they strong. Like, they strong-minded right now. Like, we got a rookie in. Like, we going to be all right. And one more thing, go Vols. Holla at y'all.
Like it, Ick.
Appreciate the call.
I love it. You get that man name right, Will, just like people call me Raymond.
I got it.
Yeah, like Sticky Ick.
I got it.
Yeah, Sticky Ick.
I
Hey,
said Ick. That's what I said.
You say it with some authority next time.
Oh,
I'm
he's
kidding.
coming
Will
at
looked
ya.
at me like, Moan, we're friends. You're right, Will. That's on me.
615-737-1045. Ryan in Lebanon up next. Hello, Ryan.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
So I want to talk about the fullback a little bit yesterday, which was Jeff Swain. Do we see that more going forward? Because that just opens up more for Austin Hooper. I'd love your guys' take on that. Go Vols.
Yeah, thanks,
Go
Ryan.
Vols.
Appreciate it. I don't think so because Torrey Carter was injured yesterday, so the Titans' starting fullback was out. Forced Kevin Rader and Jeff Swaim into that role, and a little bit of a different formula to fill that position and fill Torrey Carter's spot. Torrey Carter's spot in this lineup is not really in jeopardy, in my opinion. So I don't think we'll see a whole lot more of that moving forward. But I think at the interim, while Torrey Carter continues to be out, yes, you will continue to see Kevin Rader and Jeff Swaim play fullback.
But you see teams do this type of stuff often, though, where the tight ends are going to the lead block. But it also helps with having hands, too. Like, if he can play two roles at once, blocking, fullback, and a catcher, too, it could be another weapon. I don't know where it leads it, though.
When we come back, we talk to the man who had the pick six yesterday. This is being called by many the Andrew Adams game. Well, we've got Andrew Adams on Ramon, Kayla, and Will after the break. What he saw from Matt Ryan on the pick six and how he has been able to so quickly put himself in the lineup and become an impact player, joining this team for the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad just a few short weeks ago. We chat with Andrew Adams, Tennessee Titans safety, to begin the fourth quarter of the show. After this, on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone. Hey, Andrew, this is Will. We'll be talking with you in just about 1 minute.
It is 9 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Tennessee Titans got it done again. They defeated the Indianapolis Colts 19-10 Sunday at Nissan Stadium to earn their 5th straight win over Indy, sweeping the season series.
Ryan gets rid of it quickly. It's intercepted. 30, 40, 50. Adams 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown, Titans. Andrew Adams to the house.
That Andrew Adams pick 6 was 76 yards and the Titans' only touchdown. We'll speak to Andrew Adams here momentarily. Randy Bullock tacked on 4 field goals to help the Titans to their 4th straight victory and sole possession of first place in the AFC South. The Titans play at Houston next Sunday, kickoff set for 3:05. The Dolphins defeated the Steelers in Sunday Night Football last night, 16-10. Bears at the Patriots, Monday Night Football. You can hear the game courtesy of Westwood One right here on the Zone. And we have our 2 final teams for the World Series. The Phillies defeated the Padres 4-3. The Phillies clinched their series in 5 games. Astros swept the Yankees. They won Game 4 6-5. Raleigh Foundation Repair and Waterproofing needs. Visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
And the show goes on into hour number 4 on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All 4 Seasons Garage Doors right here on 104.5 The Zone. The Titans get the win 19-10 over the Indianapolis Colts. We react with you, and we react with a man who was a key part of that Titans win, Titans safety Andrew Adams, alongside Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson. My name is Will Bowling, and we are pleased to be joined on the Marks Payne Real Estate Hotline by Tennessee Titans safety Andrew Adams, who had the pick 6 yesterday in this win. Andrew, first of all, man, congrats on the win. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. It feels good, waking up on Monday after a good victory on Sunday.
Sure does, and I imagine it feels even better when you had a touchdown in that win as well. Look, man, I know you were committed at one point to play D1 baseball before you played at Connecticut and started your NFL career. Did you feel a little bit like a center fielder again, reading Matt Ryan and making that catch yesterday?
Yeah, whenever you can get good breaks on the quarterback and show off, a little bit of your ball skills, which I kind of contribute to playing baseball, it does feel good. So I did bring a little bit back of that center fielder out.
Appreciate you for joining the show this morning, man. The question I have for you is, everybody dreams of that moment. This was your first, if I'm not mistaken, career touchdown or pick 6. Had you envisioned it going exactly like that?
So I was actually talking to it might have been Christian Fulton, and we were just kind of talking about every time we get interceptions, it's not the way we envision it. Beforehand you play the game in your mind. I'm gonna pick this ball off, I'm gonna pick this play off, but every time it's something different. It's just playing technique, fundamentals, and you make a good play. So it's not how I envisioned it, but I did envision, getting a pick 6 in my career.
Did you think at any point in that return that somebody was going to hawk you down, and how embarrassing that would be if that had happened?
Yeah. So as soon as I caught it, I thought maybe the intended receiver, was going to try to take off and try to catch me.
Yeah.
So I was peeking back, little peeks. Didn't see him. Then I peeked for Matt Ryan, and I was like, what are you peeking for Matt Ryan for? He definitely can't. So.
Talk your stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Andrew, first of all, I thank you yesterday because you were in the locker room with a scrum around you probably for 20 minutes straight, and then here comes this girl running after you saying, "Oh, one more question." And of course, you sat and answered my question. So I appreciate that, Andrew. What has it been like for you as kind of a journeyman in this league and coming into another team this season and finding your place? What is that process like?
I just think you just kind of have to be, on top of your game. My first 2 years playing in New York and then the last 4 in Tampa. And then this will probably be my third team this year. So you just have to stay prepared and you have to stay ready for your opportunity, I would say.
Yeah.
What about the culture of this team, though, specifically? And I'm sure that you hear a lot about head coach Mike Vrabel and the way that he has formed this locker room. What is it like in there just in terms of the culture and the way that all these guys are believing in one mission?
It's great, just to come in and be embraced, as one of them, and just to catch on, to the culture and how everybody's believing in the locker room and is fighting, which is a big word that we use. It's awesome, and it's just awesome to see the guys how driven they are to one goal, to one team goal, and everybody's on that same page, which is why I think we're seeing the success.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee Titans safety Andrew Adams with us this morning on Amon, Kayla, and Will. Andrew, you've been here since September the 21st. Who helped you the most quickly get up to speed where you're able to make plays like this just a month and some change after joining this team?
Well, yeah, I would have to say, it's my DB coaches, Coach Scott Booker and Midget, and then the other safeties, Kevin Byard, Amani Hooker. They've both been playing in this defense and have made plays in this defense, so they're able to give me, the little nuances, of the calls and the details of the defense to kind of help me play faster.
Well, and Andrew, too, Amani was on the field for a lot of this game. Of course, KB always out there as well. Do you guys take pride in the fact that you had all three kind of your guys right there on the field, and the safety room is pulling their weight and then some in this game?
Well, I actually really didn't even think of it that way. I was just showing up prepared to do my job. Whatever the team asked me to do, whatever position that may be, I'm just going to do it, at the highest level and to the best of my ability. So I think that was probably the key thing there.
Going to a new team, the Titans, one thing that I think every player looks for is like, man, where's my moment where I really feel like I've done something on this team? How did it feel actually being out there and getting that monkey off your back as far as getting that pick six and being like, yeah, I got a spot here on this team?
Well, I just think just being undrafted into the league, you have that chip on your shoulder no matter whether it's year 1 or year 7. So I honestly have that same chip on my shoulder, to prove to the world, and show the world who Andrew Adams is. So it's not necessarily just trying to find a spot on this team. It's just the chip that I've always had on my shoulder, coming to the league.
That's something I tell people all the time. Being an undrafted guy is not like anybody else. Even the years in which you're comfortable, you're not really comfortable, man. And that's kind of cool to hear you kind of say that too. I have a question for you since you've been around a young guy that's a first rounder in this league. What would you tell a guy like a young Caleb Farley that your mindset is probably what he's looking for? You know what I'm saying? In a sense of like belonging and having that chip on your shoulder too when it comes down to the game.
Right. Caleb, I would say, has all the tools, and all the, things that come with a great football player. He's fast, he's big, he's physical. I just think, taking time to study, the details and the film of the game will take him over that next level, because he's already a freak athlete now. So as soon as he learns, the concepts, that offenses are doing, he'll be a great player.
You played with some other defenses, obviously, but you look at this defensive front for the Tennessee Titans. They've got some dogs up there. I know what those guys are like in the locker room and the energy that they bring out there on the practice field and the game field. Like, what is it like just to know, like, the amount of pressure they can get on a quarterback to help out the back end?
Those guys do a great job. The best coverage is a good rush, and our guys give us a great rush almost every passing down. If the ball's not out within 1 or 2 seconds, quick game, our guys are affecting the quarterback, and we love to see that. We thank them for that. That makes our job a lot easier.
As far as an easy job, you play with Derrick Henry now and not against him. I feel like when DBs have to go tackle him, let me ask you this: do they make business decisions when it comes to taking him face first?
Oh, I've had to play Derrick Henry before, and guys definitely, especially later on in the game when you're already bruised, a little bit beat up, trying to finish. That's when he really, inflicts his dominating run style, upon defenses. So I would definitely say, his physicality is a factor for sure.
Titan safety Andrew Adams with us this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Andrew, I know, too, that you played against Derrick Henry in 2019 as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. And in that game, on a botched fake field goal, you returned a fumble for a touchdown in that game that was called back. A really controversial play that was actually a touchdown. It should have been called a touchdown. Do you feel vindicated at all now that you got your touchdown in Nissan Stadium?
It's just, I don't know, maybe that's just the way God works. And it was meant to be for me to have a touchdown in that stadium. But I did remember that, and that was actually, just a fun fact, or I guess a coincidence that has coming up in my career.
Absolutely. Andrew Adams with us this morning here on 104.5 The Zone. So, Andrew, you haven't been here very long, but you've had a couple of experiences playing in this Titans and Colts rivalry. How quickly did you kind of learn how important this game is and how important it is to stop that other running back on the other side of this AFC South rivalry and Jonathan Taylor, who you helped bottle up yesterday?
Yeah, just, going through, the week of preparation and just watching all the old matchups that they've had, it kind of just dawned on me that, this is, a big game, division rivalry, two physical teams, that have similar play styles. So show up to the stadium ready to go. That was basically my mindset. So I definitely learned, about this rivalry real quick.
Andrew, on the way out, too, you've got quite an impressive football pedigree in your family. Your uncle, your cousin Matt Forte, obviously playing running back from 2008 to 2017. Your brother-in-law. I mean, are those guys jealous maybe that you get to play for such a player's coach like Mike Vrabel? And what's kind of been your impression of him just in these few short weeks?
Oh, it's been great. I mentioned to somebody the other day, it doesn't matter if you're Derrick Henry or Andrew Adams. He's going to coach you the same.
Wow.
You're running down on kickoff. He's coaching you on that, on special teams. He's coaching you at safety on defense. He's coaching receivers, linebackers. It's just so cool. He's involved in the walk. He's playing linebacker in the walkthrough. Like, it's just so cool to see a head coach, in that mindset, in that frame of work, and having that relationship with his players is, I don't know, it's something I want to be a part of.
That's awesome, man.
Absolutely. Andrew Adams has been our guest here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will at Andrew Adams33 on Twitter. Andrew, appreciate the time, man. Continued success the rest of the season, and congrats again on getting that touchdown in Nissan Stadium.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Andrew.
There is Andrew Adams here with us on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Right there.
Can we just say the undrafted mindset?
I know it.
It's the best.
Kayla,
It's the absolute
you interact
best.
with them, right?
I love it.
I didn't want to get on my soapbox and bragging camp.
Get on your soapbox.
No, get on. I've had a chip on my shoulder my career. You've had a chip on your shoulder. Will, you still got a long way to go.
Yeah, he's just opening up his bag of chips.
But I love those players that say, I got a chip. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I'm just hearing him be savvy with us, understanding his role, realizing I got a pick six, but I'm still not there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the number
Get you
one thing I
undrafted.
take away from that is, and we got to go to break with Teresa Walker coming up next, that sounds like a Mike Vrabel guy.
Yep.
That is the kind of guy who comes here, makes an impression on Mike Vrabel and John Robinson, and stays around because they fit the personality of the head coach.
Can I say something real quick, too?
You may.
You heard in his voice real quick about him saying, just the physical gifts and talents of Caleb. And a guy like him is just like, if I had that. You know what I'm saying? Like
And Matt Ryan took a straight bullet, too.
And Matt Ryan took a straight bullet.
That was awesome.
What am I looking at him for?
Nathaniel.
I love it. So, when we come back, we continue the conversation with Teresa Walker of the Associated Press, recapping this Titans win. We'll get her thoughts as well on how Andrew Adams changes the formula for success on this Titans defense. And we've talked so much about who that third safety is, who is going to step up and give that group some depth that was much needed since training camp. Well, we just talked to that guy. We'll get Teresa's thoughts on that. We'll recap the Titans win here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors at 104.5 The Zone.
So as soon as I caught it, I thought maybe the intended receiver, was going to try to take off and try to catch me.
Yeah.
So I was peeking back, little peeks. Didn't see him. Then I peeked for Matt Ryan, and I was like, what are you peeking for Matt Ryan for? He definitely can't.
Talk your stuff, man. That's awesome.
There's Andrew Adams, Tennessee Titans safety, with us just a minute ago, peeking at Matt Ryan, and I thought, why am I looking at him? He's not catching me.
That's cold blood.
Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you. And we go to the phones once again, where Teresa Walker of the Associated Press talks with us this morning. Good morning, Teresa. How are you?
Morning.
Good morning, and I'll tell you, I was counting the days, wondering when you guys were going to, get me on to, join this new group. I'm so happy to finally, be able to talk with you all.
Let's go, T.
Come on, T.
Well, the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer, was going to get you in the rotation very soon. So it is always good to have you on.
The fact that you, I'm honored, okay, that you were looking forward to come kicking it with us, okay? I know you be in West Tennessee like that. You don't bluff. You're a savage out here, a Hall of Famer. And the fact that you humble yourself enough to come kick it with us, we're not worthy, y'all. We're not worthy.
Well, let's put it this way. I know you guys know what you're talking about in the mornings, and especially, the good intelligence to add Miss Kayla to the group. I mean, there's a reason I tapped this lady to vote not once but twice for the Associated Top 25. And just as a reminder, she's still a voter for football this season. So I know this lady knows what she's talking about.
I love you, T. I love having T. Man, she's been my woman here in Nashville. I just got to say that.
Yeah.
It has been so awesome to have you. I haven't had that pleasure in other markets. That's the truth. So I'm serious.
Ooh, wow.
I mean, I haven't had somebody like
rare.
T.
She's right.
Yeah.
She's right. And we're a growing group.
Yep.
And we're not exactly coming for you guys, but we're coming to join the conversation because
like it.
We bring different angles that you guys just don't think about. I'm sorry, but, it adds spice and flavor to the conversation.
That's right.
See,
I love it.
Just sprinkle it in. That's all I'm saying, Queen. That's all I'm saying. I love it. I can just back away from this interview, okay, because it's done.
I love it. Well, Teresa, we just had Andrew Adams on, and a really good conversation with him. I can't believe the difference that he makes, allowing Amani Hooker to come in and play nickel, Roger McCreary to kind of play in that outside role he's more used to. How big of a surprise was that for you, just the way he played and the way the Titans defense was able to kind of mix and match a little bit in a little bit of a different formula?
Well, surprise only in the way that they made the tweak. I mean, Mike Vrabel kind of signaled last week that some guys were going to get some chances that maybe they hadn't had. And we saw last year that this coaching staff, when they bring somebody in, when that front office brings somebody in, that they can get them up to speed quickly. And then the coaching staff can figure out where do they fit best. And that's what they're doing yet again. Guys, going into the bye, they had used 20 different defensive starters. Andrew Adams was one of those. And a year ago, when they used that 91, NFL record players, they used 26 different starters on defense. So that's what it's been like on that side of the ball. And to be able to go get him, and let's not forget Terrence Mitchell. I mean, they brought them in on the same day, and Mitchell's the guy who's punching out that ball. Anybody who gets to go to Titans practice, that's one of the things you see them practicing on, both offense and defense. They got boxing gloves trying to, helping get those guys, showing them how to punch that ball out, focusing on those details. And I'm not surprised at all. And Rodney Harrison last night on whatever they call that show, Sunday Night in America, whatever, football night, he was pointing out that maybe one of the defenses you hadn't been paying attention to, the Tennessee Titans. Yep. And let's not forget, their takeaway giveaway ratio, it should be, if I'm doing the math right, around 3 as of today, +3. Yep. And you want to be on that side of the ball to have success in the NFL.
When it comes to this team, watching them play against the Colts, we open up to 6 o'clock. I'm like, it's like two teenage teams playing against each other. Like the level of just pettiness and the level of physicality that these teams play against each other is something that lends itself to realizing this is a big matchup and rivalry for the Titans and Colts.
Oh, big time. I mean, let's not forget, the AFC South was formed in 2002. Titans won it that year. But since then, it'd been dominated. Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck. It was almost like Peyton handed it down in his will to Andrew Luck that, you're just going to dominate the Titans here. Yesterday was the second straight sweep for the Titans. But to put this in context, since 2002, it's just the fourth time that the Titans have swept this season series against their division rival, okay? I know that the Texans had a couple of titles in there mixed in between the Titans and the Colts, but let's not get lost here. It is the Colts who they need to beat. It's the Colts that their owner, Jim Irsay, did you see him?
Yeah.
Video of him walking quietly to his golf cart and out of the stadium. He knows that to be competitive in the AFC, in the NFL, they have to beat the Titans. And let's not forget, folks, the Tennessee Titans interviewed Mike Vrabel in 2018 before they went with Josh McDaniels. And Amy Adams Strunk, John Robinson, they quickly jumped. They got a little criticized. They only interviewed 3 people for that head coaching job, but they hired Mike Vrabel quickly. In hindsight, do you think that maybe Jim Irsay wishes that, instead of going with that guy, they went with Mike Vrabel?
Oh, no doubt
Good
about
point,
it.
Teresa.
And on the other side of it, too, we had this conversation. What is this team without Derek? Like watching him play and run, especially as of late, Derek is a special back.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, seeing Chris Johnson, Eddie George, Warren Moon and Dan Pastorini, the about 130 players from this franchise's long vaunted history. Derek is right up there, okay? I mean, he didn't get a touchdown yesterday to tie Eddie George for the most touchdowns in franchise history. He's one back of him. He's going to get it. It's just a matter of when. And you look at this offensive line, I mean, let's not forget they lost Taylor Lewan on the left side. They replaced, 2 other starters coming into this season. You don't think that Derrick Henry is the guy who – I mean, that one point where everybody was just pushing him, for that final, game-sealing drive, pushing him 11 yards. I mean, he was at the center of that. And then he broke off another one. He's been running as hard as he's been running. It's just now that it feels like maybe this new group, and it's a new group. And Ramon, you know how it is. You just don't build that chemistry immediately. It feels like he's the guy who's maybe helping them get on point faster and getting to some of those spots to help them get up to speed faster. And Mike Vrabel made it clear. This is a team that's going to run the ball and play defense. And if you didn't know that, you haven't been paying attention. And Derrick Henry is why they are this style of team at this point in time.
Well, yesterday, tight end Austin Hooper had his biggest day in two-tone blue. 3 catches for 56 yards, Teresa. That big catch there where he bobbled it, and he knew he had it, though. Even after the review signified it was before that. He knew he had that catch. Just how big was it for Austin to finally get involved? Because we've been talking about this storyline endless since training camp, where it looked like Tannehill and him had so much chemistry.
Exactly. And what did Hooper say after the game? He was open.
Yeah.
And Tannehill found him, and that was the key. I mean, I'd been joking for a few weeks that is he on a milk carton?
Yeah.
He'd been MIA in this offense, and then suddenly when they needed him most, he came through yesterday with 3 huge catches. I had to check myself after the first one. It's like, was that really Austin Hooper?
Yeah.
But that bobbling catch, I don't know if you've seen the gif there, or somebody has to make it a gif beyond just the video. But the way Mike Vrabel tossed that challenge flag out there, it may have been after the punch out for the turnover, but it's like that whole second half yesterday was just kind of a moment there where guys that you hadn't been hearing of, and Austin Hooper. I mean, he was one of the big free agent signees. I mean, a 2-time Pro Bowler with Atlanta. We were expecting so much more from him, and he finally came through yesterday. And that's the strangest. Maybe the most identifying thing with this Titans franchise is that when they need a guy to step up, someone does. Yesterday, it was Andrew Adams in the in that second quarter, Terrence Mitchell with the punch out, and Austin Hooper absolutely came through when they needed him.
And Ryan Tannehill, let's not forget, it found a way to get him the ball on a bum right ankle at that point because he was not getting around easily. Teresa, how concerned are we with Tannehill right now and just his availability moving forward? I mean, talk about a tough-nosed guy. We hear it all the time in the locker room. He proved that yesterday.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, watching him on the, he went he went down. He told us, he thought, I'll go to the huddle, and then he realized it would take more than 10 seconds for him to get to the huddle. He went back to the ground.
Yep.
He goes to the sideline. Malik Willis comes in, hands off. They get the field goal. Now, when they force the 3 and out, and he has to go right back out on, maybe that would have been a moment it would have been okay for an extra play or two for him to gather himself. But no, he goes in the medical tent, gets a little bit more tape, and then I watched him. He gets on the edge of the field there. He's moving around, testing the ankle, throws a couple of passes, and then he heads in. And I think he only threw 2 passes after that. One that the bobbling catch by Austin Hooper, and then there was one to Westbrook-Akine that wasn't caught. And that was the only other passes that he really threw after that. It was mostly handoff. But when you watch him on the throw to Hooper, he's moving. He had to move around. He had to move over to his right and work that pocket around a little bit to deliver that ball down the field. And, yes, now he says he's going to do everything he can to be ready for Sunday. They visit the Houston Texans, and it's an ankle. I mean, the knock on him when the Titans got him was that he couldn't stay healthy. That has not been a problem in Tennessee because he is so tough. And if you think he hasn't been hurt, he's been hurt. It's just there's a difference in being hurt and being hurt enough to be on the injury report. He will be on the injury report Wednesday, and we're going to be watching this all week long. I'm sure he's getting every possible treatment for an ankle that you can get. And I'm sure they're probably running some tests this morning just to make sure that everything's, okay in that ankle. Wait and see.
Teresa Walker of the Associated Press with us this morning. Got our boat, Kayla and Will. Teresa, with the trade deadline coming up on November the 1st, are there any potential moves that you have your eye on that would make sense for this Titans team right now?
Wouldn't mind a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, but, let's be honest. I know that the Carolina Panthers, although they may be reconsidering their fire sale after what P.J. Walker did to Tom Brady yesterday, right? So at this point, the Titans seem to have made their move. It was Dennis Daly, right? When they made that trade with Carolina just before the season. I would be a little surprised to see them make a move because they've used some draft capital. So I would. Those are the 2 positions I'd like to see. But let's remember, you sit through 2 more games, Traylon Burks will have a chance to come back. We're still waiting to see if Racey McMath has a chance to get back this season. We don't know why he's on IR. He's the guy that could give this offense the much-needed speed component that has been missing from this, the ability to really stretch the field. That was going to be Racey McMath, and he's been on IR. So, and on the defensive side, Elijah Molden, Kayla, you tweeted about it last week. We're starting to see him in the locker room. That's a good sign that he's getting closer, potentially, to getting cleared to return to practice. So, this team honestly just kind of needs to heal up in a couple spots.
Teresa, on the way out, 5 rushes for 40 in the first half for Jonathan Taylor, only 5 carries for 18 in the second half. Were you surprised the Colts did not try to get him more involved?
Yes. I mean, this is the guy. Weren't they touting him as MVP a year ago?
They were.
And if the Titans know what they've got in Derrick Henry, and they, now it took them a little bit to realize that maybe this is the thing. Frank Reich, he's a quarterback, and after seeing that no huddle work so well last week in the comeback against Jacksonville, being down 13-0 at half, probably felt like they needed to keep throwing the ball. But let's not go unnoticed. The Titans, over the last 3-4 games, they are shutting down the run. And that, their passing stats as a defense aren't that great. Well, that's because teams are having to throw against them. So I think it's kind of a combination of both. That they forget that they have Jonathan Taylor there, and also that, the Titans are showing that they can shut down the run.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt about it. Teresa Walker, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will at Teresa M. Walker is where you can find her on Twitter. Appreciate the time as always, Teresa, and you can certainly count on the fact that we will do it again soon.
That sounds great. Can't wait to join y'all again. Have an awesome day.
Thanks, T. See you this week.
Teresa. We keep around people who are, that just help us cut promos at the beginning of their interviews. Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know.
They
That's
get
right.
much better than that. Like, y'all are cool, but Teresa's way cooler. I just want to say that.
Yeah, she's earned that.
Okay, all right.
She does everything.
She really does. I mean, she even talks basketball, Will.
The whole state of Tennessee
The
she
whole
covers.
state. You know, they don't hand out Hall of Famers like titles to just nobody.
That's true.
I legitimately do love her. She's so sweet, just awesome in person.
Oh, she's
too.
sweet, but
Yeah.
the reason why T and I get along,
Yeah.
she's sweet, but she also got another side to her.
A little savage.
Don't get on
savage.
Teresa Walker's bad side. Do not
right.
do it.
A little savage. I like that.
615-737-1045. The last call for phones on the way out this morning. We'll get to Bob and Smyrna after the break, and we will take a look around the league again at some perspective on why these ugly wins might not be that ugly after all, considering the amount of bad football that continues to be played in the National Football League. We wrap up the Monday edition, the Victory Monday edition. Coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Well, I would say that, Adams, Andrew's interception, the defensive players, made a check and they all executed it. Obviously, Bud was able to match the quarterback's hand and he got rid of it. And Andrew and Christian were there to break on it and make a play. And, that was very well executed. David, was able to not chase and stay at home as the quarterback progressed through over the football and, probably didn't see him.
There's Mike Vrabel yesterday talking with voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, postgame right here on Titans Radio and 104.5 The Zone, reading the quarterback, matching the hand, the directional delivery cues that Coach Dave McGinnis often talks about. And Andrew Adams, good conversation with him today. If you missed our talk with him about 45 minutes ago, find that wherever you download podcasts right after the show is over today. And give it a listen, not just because of the shot that he kind of took at Matt Ryan. But
So as soon as I caught it, I thought maybe the intended receiver, was going to try to take off and try to catch me.
Yeah.
So I was peeking back, a little peek. Didn't see him. Then I peeked for Matt Ryan, and I was like, what are you peeking for Matt Ryan for? He's definitely king. So.
Talk your stuff,
yeah.
That's awesome. What am I peeping back at Matt Ryan?
And the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer, of course, just had that audio readily available.
Run it.
Of course. That's so funny.
I love when guys, they're humble guys, right?
Yeah.
Chip on their shoulder guys, but when they can get in a stat, like you're putting it in. Like,
when you take the jab with a smile on
Absolutely.
your face, it just makes it hurt that much more.
And you know what's even better? The games with the Colts are done. He don't have to worry about that Ben Bulletin board material.
You're not going to see them in the playoffs, that's for sure.
I would
well played.
Look, Will. Every chance he gets, he's going to take a shot, and I love it. But this is the thing, though.
Am I wrong?
That old bulletin board material,
Okay, good.
You know what? When you're done with them for the year, and they're probably done too, talk your stuff.
Then I peeked for Matt Ryan, and I was like, what are you picking for Matt Ryan for?
I love that that's going to be a drop on this show now. That is the first drop from a guest.
Yeah.
That is going to be a recurring drop on
Dude,
this
Ron
show.
Slay is going to have a field day with
Yeah,
that.
he probably going to use that drop at some point today. Nathaniel, my bad.
Yeah.
Nathaniel.
Yeah,
that's right.
Nathaniel. Okay,
Let's go to Bob in Smyrna here to close out the phone lines this morning. What's going on, Bob?
Bob?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, gal.
Hello.
Good morning, Tennessee Titans fans and Tennessee Vols fans. I
Yes,
got
sir.
two comments. I want to say, our Tennessee Titans, we have got to score points in the second half, guys. We've got to get this offense figured out. We are not scoring points in the second half. And for us to get back to where we was at last year, to almost the Super Bowl, we've got to figure out a way to score points. And then for my Tennessee Vols, guys, Tennessee Vols, we have got to get off, if anybody is, off this high of beating Alabama. That's in the past. We are moving forward. We are looking to hit the SEC championship, like one game at a time. Take out the Kentucky Wildcats. Just go one game at a time, guys.
Yeah.
Facts.
Don't be stuck in the past.
Go Vols. Appreciate the call.
Yeah. I think I'm over it. I'm past it now.
Past the Bama game?
Yeah, I'm
I
past
can
it.
kind of feel that if anybody is a judge of character in this room right now,
Yeah.
I think I could say you guys are both over it.
Yeah.
You're moving on.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Plus, I had to pile on to my brother-in-law who's a UT Martin fan last week.
Oh, there you
Let
go.
me tell
Skyhawks.
you, Caleb, listen to
Oh,
me.
my goodness.
Let him have it all weekend long. All weekend long. Like, he took 2 L's in a row. Alabama, because he's a fan of them, and then his real school, UT Martin.
How do you guys get along?
That's because that's my dog. That's
Okay.
why. Yeah.
Can I
Agree
say
to
this
disagree?
as the outsider on this? Love Josh.
Yeah.
To hell with Josh.
I met Josh, too. I think Josh's a good guy.
Yeah, he is a good dude.
I met him
Anytime
at
I
the
need him,
state
he's
championship.
right there. Yeah, he's a good dude. But he's a petty dude. Like, very petty. Like, he let me have it since 2012. I'm like, that ain't even your school. Your degree says University of Tennessee.
Well, the number one thing we all have in common with Bama fans is that we also did not attend the University of Alabama.
A lot of them have a minor in Alabama.
They definitely got a big time history lesson in it.
England has had 3 prime ministers since the last time Alabama beat Tennessee. Really makes you think, honestly.
Well, college ball tomorrow, right?
That's right.
I can't wait to talk about Miami.
Oh, that's right.
Oof. He's
You're
about
ready
to
to
give
go.
it. He's about to give it to Miami.
Let's go to Adam in Murfreesboro up next on the phone lines before we get out of here. What's going on, Adam? Good morning.
Morning, guys and lady. Hopefully this is going to be the last you hear about the Alabama-Tennessee game.
Sure.
Moan, I went back and forth with you on Twitter, and you got your receipts, but I just wanted to call in. I don't get to listen to a whole lot in the morning, so hopefully this will be the final thing. Congratulations on that big win.
Thank you.
Y'all beat us fair and square. I don't want to hear any crying and bitching about referees and all that stuff. Y'all beat us.
Appreciate
And also on the Titans, please get Austin Hooper more involved. Get the tight ends more involved. And that's all I got. Appreciate it, guys. Good one.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Adam.
it,
Yeah.
Adam.
Appreciate the call.
Quit bitching.
That's right.
Appreciate that, Adam. Adam did say he was going to call in. I respect that, man. He held his own right.
I like Hooper getting more involved, too. We also have to talk tomorrow, as far as topics we're going to talk about tomorrow, about a conversation that happened during Alabama's next game.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a big conversation.
On the broadcast crew of Alabama and Mississippi State.
That stuff.
Not only about Jermaine Burton and his situation and his lack of suspension, which I'll go on a soapbox about. I'm going to dust off my soapbox.
Get
I'm going to
ready.
make sure it's still in
You
the same
know what?
closet I've got at home.
I'll bring it for you
Bring
tomorrow.
bring your soapbox
Yeah.
too? Okay, I'll bring my soapbox also.
I'll
Caleb,
bring
do
you
wanna
the
bring your
soap that I
soapbox?
got my mouth washed out with.
Oh, perfect.
When I
Okay.
was little.
I might need that
I'll bring
after I
that.
go on this rant. Anyway,
that's a good one.
we will talk some college football tomorrow. There is also, I know we did fraud versus for real a few weeks ago. I feel like it might be time to bring that back up in college football and the NFL.
Oh, you want to do college ball?
Because a former Tennessee coach is the head coach of one of the biggest frauds in college football.
Arkansas State?
No, a little bit of a bigger school.
Miami?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Oh,
that coach.
The
boy.
lane train is off the
Anytime
is off the
y'all
rails.
can get on the lane.
I wasn't even going there,
Soapbox,
Caleb.
you're-
I
You know
wasn't
what?
even
Hey,
going
but
there.
Ramon, I was. So
You are this
we're going to
time.
take it there to end the show. When we are back with you tomorrow, we will begin Kentucky week.
Yeah.
Automode, Kayla, and Will continue to react to the biggest news around the National Football League. We recap Monday Night Football as well. And that was a quick one.
It was.
Appreciate Andrew Adams joining us. Check out the podcast if you missed our conversation with him, Teresa Walker as well. Great stuff as always. 4 more fast hours on deck tomorrow morning. But first, a word to the people of Nashville from Ramon Foster.
Remember, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.
Then I peeked for Matt Ryan, and I was like, what are you picking for Matt Ryan for?